just taking
It's
a quick
too funny.
stock about what happened last time. Not a whole lot, realistically. You guys pretty much were in a heated battle against a group of goblins that were, within a lithid, and they are they were goblins that had been previously mentioned by
pretty much everyone.
Richard
This area
is the first person who really talked about them.
Yeah, except they weren't really in the area where we were told they would be.
Yeah, they weren't in the Yip Yang Mountains. They
20
attacked
miles
you
up
guys,
or whatever.
20 miles north on the road.
He did mention that there's constant, they're trying to constantly expand and get out of there, but they get held back by the local armies, which appear to have failed this time.
It appears so. So they assaulted you, but you were able to overcome their numbers, and you duked it out with the Illithid, but you couldn't nab him. But fortunately, none of you guys died. As far as horses, everybody's horses died, including Kirill's. But Kirill can obviously bring his back.
Yeah, he can cheat and bring it back for free.
Kirill's going to have to hold all our stuff.
We just have the bag of holding.
So you guys had opted not to stay in the area and rest, but instead to run as fast as you could to Nire to hopefully gain, some semblance of safety.
Oh, did we decide to go to Nire? I thought we were running back to Pix.
I think we were
Why
heading
would
to
we
Nire.
go back?
Because we
because there's still an illicit out there somewhere.
But that's fine. I don't really mind either way. I just am not. There might be more shit on the road that we haven't gone yet.
We took a short rest, though.
You did take a short rest.
I think
expended some hit die so that you could heal up. So I had stated that you got there towards the middle of the night. We did actually get to Nire last session. I didn't really want to describe it, go into it too much. But as you guys are kind of getting closer to the city, you can catch the smell of smoke on the wind. And in the pitch of night, you can't really see a whole lot going on. But as you get closer to the town, you can hear distant cries of chaos and activity as torches are being lit and the city is lighting up in addition to a large structure that is currently burning up pretty good. And yeah, we'll pick it up from there. What do you guys want to do?
Not walk into fucking Nire now.
Well, does it sound like some of the cries from the distance we are at maybe would sound like goblins? Like, do we think maybe it's under attack based on our ability to hear that?
Why don't you make a perception check?
Perfect.
Did you ever summon back your crow?
I haven't had time.
So with 20, you take a moment to kind of stop and listen and try and discern what the cries are about, I guess. And so far as you can tell, there's not cries of like battle or pain or people crying out. You see a lot of people yelling, or you hear a lot of people yelling rather that there's a fire and the people are scrambling.
Do we just see one building on fire?
There is one large structure that is currently on fire and looks to be towards the center of the town.
Okay.
So I have this chromatic orb, Tom, and it does cold damage. It can do cold damage.
Sure.
But I think that could maybe assist in putting out a fire.
Oh my
it
God.
would put out a very small section of fire, I would say.
All right,
but not a building.
All right. Well, I don't know how extreme it is. It's like a lit three candles kind of fire.
And with that 20, so there is a good number of people who are rushing to try and put out this fire. And there's a small pond that kind of sits on the south side of Nire that they're running back and forth from. You can see like people are kind of like holding torches. You can see little figures moving back and forth, stuff like that, trying to maybe even just contain the fire at this point. But you can also see that on the north side of town, there are just a few figures moving with torches. You can't really make out exactly what they're doing. There's kind of like a forested area on the north side of Nire, where it's pretty sparse, close to the city. It's a pretty tight and compact city. You can see that there's not a whole lot to this town in general, but the north side, you can see that there's some figures moving around, and they seem to be moving north with torches.
So out of the city?
Out of the city, yes.
That's like kind of where we came from, ish. Like, could you like show on the map like where'd we fight the goblins? Like, I know we came from here, right?
Yeah,
but like, in my mind, we went up here a little bit. So like, were we up here at all, or were we just basically just on the road?
You guys were literally on the road the entire time. You didn't leave the road.
Oh,
yeah, that's what I thought.
So how tall are these figures with the torch?
You ask Tammin that, and in his perception of it, there's not really any discernible
difference. I was more listening than seeing them, to my knowledge.
Yeah,
but I don't know.
All of the senses. Yeah, you can't really tell.
I think we just approach slowly.
I agree.
It's my
expert opinion.
If only I had my bird.
During your short rest, I think you could have summoned him.
Well, no, it's an hour of uninterrupted ritual, so 30 minutes is a short rest.
I actually think that the rules are that a short rest is an hour.
I thought that was an hour, yeah.
Yeah.
Oh, I'm sorry.
Unless we're doing
That's not how I have been previously denoting it, but I heard that it is actually an hour.
I mean,
whatever you rule is law. So if it's an hour, then if I knew we were resting for an hour, I would have done the ritual. To be fair.
If you didn't summon your bird, I'm going to show you.
Well, that's what I'm saying. I mean, if we rested for an hour as a short rest, I would have done that. So okay. Well,
okay. Yeah. So you've got your bird. You've got your goose.
Let me remove the reagents.
There's a goose.
Probably pissed off.
Yeah. Well, he's a familiar. He doesn't have any feelings.
This time when you're performing the familiar ritual, the hairs got crossed, and it's actually a goose.
It's actually a goose.
Yeah.
Oh my god.
No.
This has no actual power.
Hilarious. It's just a random goose.
Just shits everywhere.
All right. So what do you guys do?
All right. Well, in that case, I guess I would look through Goose and tell him to go look over the town and get a closer look.
Okay. So you send Goose out, and it takes a couple minutes for him to kind of get a good grasp on the situation, I would say. But you kind of get the idea that, and you could hear as Goose is kind of flying through this area, that they are trying to put out the fire that is currently destroying their main granary. And you can hear cries that there was an attack, or that, how could this have happened? Who's supposed to be on watch tonight? Stuff like that. And you can hear just basically it's chaos. There's not really a sense of order going on. You get a better look at the town, and you can see that there are a number of kind of like stalls and shops that are set around this granary, but for the most part, they've contained the fire. And then there's also a large manor that is currently quiet.
Okay. All right. Well, I guess I'll just relay that information to the party and say, it's, just the one big building on fire. It looks like it's a granary, and people are talking about an attack, so might want to be a little cautious when approaching. They might be wary of travelers right now.
It's a shame none of us can make water.
I mean, all of us can make water.
Hmm.
I think we should go and help them. At least try to.
I think we
I
should
agree.
as well.
It'll help us be
So,
well received.
let's
We
go.
need to go there anyway. Let's roll.
Okay.
I'll
I
run
guess
in.
we start hoofing it then.
So you start running towards the town. You guys have already ran a good distance tonight after completing a battle as well. So I'd like you to all make Constitution checks.
Ooh, this is like if we face plant.
Can't wait to die in peak
Ooh.
physical
Wait.
condition.
26.
God damn
baby.
it,
All right.
Misha!
Ooh,
Oh,
No, I'm not feeling well.
you got the black lung.
Yeah. So
I've got con points to spare. I'll carry you if I can. I probably can. I'm 9 strength, dude.
Haldir, you suffer a point of exhaustion. Kirill, you suffer a point of exhaustion. Yane, you suffer a point of exhaustion. Misha, you suffer
2.
1 point of exhaustion.
I was like, 2 would have been really rough.
Yeah,
That would have been
really
really.
bad.
Oh,
What
I
is
have
that?
an answer for this. This problem we have.
Oh?
Change fire to radiant.
Radiant
I
burning
like this
building.
idea.
I mean, it would stop burning the grain.
It's
Technically.
It would light up.
the name of the cantrip is Intensify Flames.
Yeah.
Oh, it's intensive.
Yeah.
You
So,
just show up and start
I'm not
burning shit
exactly
more.
sure.
Hey guys, what up?
I have it changed fire. Let me switch that to intensify.
yeah, and the reverse of
hilarious.
it is Intensify Lightning, which is something that's also available to you. In any case, you guys make it to the center of town. A bit winded. Tammin, you are just so light that you got
Yeah, right.
you've got that
That's fucking
con.
crazy.
That goose can carry him.
Yeah.
I was like,
But you guys all make it there, and at this point, the building's it's gone.
I would have passed if I wasn't literally having constitution damage.
Yeah, that's true. But they've resigned to the fact that they are not going to save the structure, and they have now they're just kind of watching it with a good amount of despair. They see a group of adventurers charge into the town, and you see that you're met with a lot of looks of like distrust and possibly hate. They're not exactly sure what to make out of you, but a couple of armed men, I wouldn't call them soldiers. They are wearing hastily clad leather armor, and they have the look about them that they're not exactly capable, and they look very suspicious, and also, I guess, wary in the sense that they are scared of you. As they kind of approach, and they kind of whisper to one another. All right, then. What brings you to our humble town in this dire hour?
We're just trying to get to Jelrin. Of course, got a lot of goblins on the road, and guess there's fire here. And,
It's things are not exactly going well here, but if you're going to Jelrin, the road's yours. Kind of looks around.
I don't want to stay here in town.
Well, we got an inn. It's called the Fish Trap. It's by the pond, and I'm sure that the Duchess would like to talk to you, considering the state that we're in.
I'd give him kind of a weird look.
Duchess.
who's the Duchess?
It's Duchess Nire. She owns this place, but we haven't seen her, and things are, kind of escalating. I'm gonna go see if I can figure this out. We're kind of in a bit of a pickle now, but it's our problem. If you could go ahead and head down to the fish trap and then just stay there for like 2 hours, that would be great. My name is Pelvin, by the way.
Thank you, Pelvin.
Yes, I appreciate that. Please. And then he starts to run off in the direction of the manor. And she was on the far side of the town.
Don't know where the person who owns the town is.
Everything's fine.
And it's on fire. Yes, everything is fine here.
Well, let's get to the end.
Shall we? Yes. I'm very tired.
Okay. So you guys move over to this kind of squat structure that's close
What does
to.
that mean?
It's small and not
Small and quaint.
quaint. Yeah,
Quaint?
yeah,
Wow,
yeah.
it's
Okay.
super quaint in here.
Squat.
It's almost squant.
Yeah, it is exactly squant, one might say. And it's it's right next to the water. Hey, what's going on here? Yeah, you can see that it's practically empty. You can see that there's actually just a few kids that are kind of looking out from windows, and then there's kind of an older lady who's also peering out through the windows. And as you step in through the door, she wields a rolling pin at you. She says, "What are you doing in here? What do you want?"
Is this not an inn?
Well, yeah, it's an inn, I guess.
Yes?
You yes?
It is an inn. It is an inn. Well, I'm kind of confused because there's a lot of stuff going on. I don't know. Well, this is a strange time to get visitors, I guess.
Can we see your manager?
I own the place.
God.
We are just exhausted travelers who wandered into your town upon such horrible events as our trespassing outside.
Yeah, we're pretty fucked.
Why does everybody keep saying that?
Well, the granary is like a lot of food, and we haven't had a very good year. So, yeah, unless the Duchess is going to fork out some serious cash for us, we're going to be pretty hungry this winter. That's what, this is the facts of life.
Why does she sound like she smokes a?
Is this a guy or a woman or both?
It's an old woman, and
Old
yeah,
woman.
love it.
yeah, and she does sound like she smokes a pack a
Raspy
day.
as fuck, bro.
Thing. Why is your Duchess, or how long has your Duchess been gone for? Another boy outside mentioned that as well.
She's not been gone at all, but I don't know. I don't know what's going on. I have been here with the kids.
That's probably better than being out.
You guys look like shit. I'll get a room set up for you.
Ooh,
I love this character so much.
she's amazing.
A room?
A room is fine. We'll pay for one room.
She doesn't respond. She's already moving to take action. So you guys are kind of left there with like 3 kids who's just looking at you wide-eyed. There's a couple of boys and a girl, and they're like, "What the going on?"
I'm gonna look at one of the kids. Wait, what time is it actually? Because this is
Oh,
really
It's
late.
the
isn't
middle of the night.
Yeah, I
Yeah.
was gonna say it's
it?
pretty
So
late.
probably not dinner
Oh,
time.
I'm sleepy.
Never mind.
I'm going to bed.
We were going to be called on in about 2 hours. You plan to
I'm
rest?
going to bed.
All right.
Okay, that's fine.
2 hours? We haven't slept in like
A week.
a whole
Yeah,
day.
it's been a while.
They can go fuck
actually.
themselves.
Dude, the bitch is gone anyway. She's not even gonna show up.
That the Duchess?
Yeah. The guy said this person will want to talk to you, but we don't know where she is, which means he's never gonna come back with that person.
Likely.
In any case, you guys, after a few moments, Mary, she introduces herself as Mary, says, "Your rooms are ready, and
And I'm Mary.
Yeah, and I'm Mary. If you need anything else, just call me by my name, which is Mary, and I'll get it for you. But really, don't ask for anything for the rest of the night because I'm not gonna get it. But tomorrow, we'll see.
All right, I love
the
this
town's still
character.
standing. I don't know. It's not looking too good. Might be wintering in
You don't have a
jeopardy.
lot of faith in that. I mean, do you have any idea who attacked you? Does this kind of thing happen often, or what?
I don't really know. I
You
cook
don't know
fish.
the whereabouts of your own town. Okay, I got it. Never
And
mind.
I make bets. Okay.
I want to elbow Tammin. Describe what you saw.
We were attacked by goblins and we almost died. How does that
Not
sound?
that. Not that. You saw people walking away.
Yeah, that could have been anyone. There were figures walking away from your town with torches.
I'm gonna be honest. I don't keep track of any of that, so I keep myself to my own business. I got enough to do.
Okay.
She's smoking right now.
She may be smoked in
She's got a
between.
pipe.
No, this is the
You enter into
character
your rooms and they're
in general.
they're a little smoky. She might have been smoking while she was fixing the room. So, who knows
That's
what she
fine.
was?
We will not bother you the rest of the night. Thank you very much for taking us into your establishment.
All right. So you guys go into the squant rooms and relax. And so are you taking any watch or anything, or is you guys all comfortable enough to
I
rest?
think I'm gonna do one of the whole sleep with one eye open things.
I don't know how you do that.
I don't
personally.
either. I just thought I'd
He has
say that and
Goose
see what you did.
Sleep for him.
Yeah, I'm not. Yeah, I don't know. Yeah, I sleep softly tonight.
Yeah, right.
Yes. Okay. Yeah. So everybody's taking their long rest or attempting to.
Yeah, I'm
be
going
bunked
to.
out with exhaustion.
I guess so.
Okay.
Yeah.
All right. So you guys actually do successfully get through a long rest. And sometime fairly early in the morning, you hear and are woken by some banging as there's a commotion in the common room. This is a very small inn. There's maybe 3 rooms in total, and then there's just a common area where
Yeah, I
people
mean, this
probably
is someone's house. It's not an inn.
Yeah.
I'm assuming I didn't recover my constitution. Yes.
you did not.
I mean,
Uh,
I'll go down and check out what's going on, I suppose.
Okay. You see a group of individuals who are armed. One of which you saw last night's a guard who didn't introduce himself, and the rest are kind of just. They look like peasants. They're like armed with pitchforks and whatever other tools that they could use as a makeshift weapon. There's probably about 6 or 7 of them. Then the one that looks like he has the most authority, which is barely any authority at all, steps up to you and is like, "All right, my name's Guard Marv, and I'm gonna have to ask you to come with me. We're gonna take you to the manor. Are you willing to come willingly, or is this gonna have to be a beatdown?"
I'm pretty afraid of this guy.
Well, I wouldn't say you have a choice. I mean, no, you have to come with us. So let's go.
Huh.
I appreciate you asking nicely anyway, though. That's bang up.
Yeah, I guess it ain't easy being us, though.
Yeah, thanks. All right. Yeah, come on. And so you guys walk, and you're escorted by these people who look terrified to death of you. and you're taken to a nice manor. It's not anything close to what Richard has, but you would not say that this person is poor by any measure. In comparison to the town, they're very, very wealthy. And you're brought into a kind of like a greeting hall area, and you see a pretty large lady, in that she's kind of round, not that she's tall or anything, but she's kind of sitting on an ornate chair, and to her left is kind of a well-dressed and dignified posed dark elf who's got very close cropped hair. And it's a gentleman. And they're both kind of like in a discussion as you come in, and then they kind of like start to assess you immediately. Why don't you all make perception checks while you're kind of moving through this area, though, as well?
25.
Okay. Yeah, Kirill and Tammin. Yane, yeah, and Yane. You guys all notice that there are kind of hidden in some of the corridors that you guys had just passed through. There were a couple of figures that were, kind of lying in wait that didn't want to be noticed. They were, or you think they wanted to be noticed just based on the way they were standing. But you notice that there's a few more people that are in this structure. In any case,
A few?
Yeah, just a couple that you noticed.
All right. I'll assume that's between 2 to 4 people.
Or
I don't have exact.
Miss Nire, these are the travelers. I don't know. These are the people who came in last night, right around the time the fire started. So, yeah. And she's like, yes. Get out of here, Marv. Jeez. All of you out. All of you. And she's kind of waving at the peasants that are behind him. And she just kind of looks you over for a few moments. I have a task for you, and it's imperative that you take it. My daughter was stolen in the night, and I need you to recover her.
Is she pretty?
So what you're implying is that the fire is a ruse, or a diversion, rather, to steal your daughter.
Perhaps. I'm not exactly certain that the brutes are capable of that much thought. Yes. I believe that this was perpetrated by the half-ogre tribe. I think they're called the Burshane, something like that. They come out of the maw. We received an emissary from them a few days ago, and I declined to meet with them. I think they may have taken that the wrong way. In any case, they stole my daughter and burned my town's food supply and put us in a very terrible position. So, if you'd be so kind as to fulfill your role as good citizens of Jepper, to take out these heinous creatures and retrieve my daughter. I would pay you, of course.
Of course.
How much?
I would, simply because I have literally no other options. There is a shortage of manpower in this town. I don't know if you've noticed, but we've been levied to a certain extent to help out in the efforts in Solura. And that puts me at a supreme disadvantage in protecting my town, let alone making expeditions into the maw.
Is the dark elf dressed up in gear?
Aristocratic clothing.
Oh, okay, not armor.
Yeah. No.
Okay.
I completely missed that this lady was a dark elf.
No.
She's
She
not.
has a.
Wait.
Like Misha was saying, like an aristocrat or some advisor standing next to her.
And he's
It's
a dark elf.
Yeah.
Which is kind of interesting that we've ran into two of them. They are rare, right?
Yeah. They are, as far as you know. I mean, you don't ever see them really.
Who was the
Yeah.
other one?
The only other one we've ever seen was the one that was like a half demon, half dark elf bard.
That's right. Nash.
Yeah.
That's exactly where my mind went.
I don't remember that character.
Yeah, he was with the Cambians.
He
Yeah.
was a Cambion.
He's a Cambion.
So, okay,
Yeah.
that's what I thought. All right.
Well, where do you think they're already back in the maw?
Well, I don't know. I mean, they are brutish. I would imagine they can move quickly, but it's highly possible that they made camp. We couldn't find them in the night.
I've never been to the maw. It's a pretty big fucking place. I mean,
It's a very dangerous place.
Yes, I know this. We have traded with Bershan tribe a few times, and we know where they are, so I can give you directions. Or rather, we'll have our ranger give you directions. Berwix? She calls into one of the side rooms, and gentleman kind of strolls out, and it's a very old man. He looks like he's probably older than Richard, and he does not have any of the vitality that man has at all. He's kind of hunched over, but he's still kitted out with his ranger gear, which includes a longbow, and looks like he's got a pair of short swords. And he says, "Yes, Duchess, you're going to accompany these men and woman to the Bershan tribe and eradicate them. You're capable of that, right? You look capable of that." She's directing this question at you.
At us or at her ranger?
You guys.
I am super skeptical the entire time I'm looking at her ranger.
How many?
you want us to bring this guy?
How many ogres are in the tribe?
They're half ogres. And I don't know. 20, 30.
That's
Well,
quite a lot.
To bring back your daughter is one thing, but to ask us to just genocide some people for I don't know, no real reason as far as we're concerned.
Well, they may not have killed anybody last night, so far as we can tell. We have had a few people go missing over the past few months. But they did burn down our granary, which all but ensures that some people will definitely die of starvation. So whether they killed us now or they killed us in a few months...
I'm just saying, we're going to need some serious coin, because you're talking about sending us into the mall and doing all this shit. You don't even know about the fact that we killed, I fucking kid you not, probably 300 goblins just 20 minutes outside your city yesterday.
Wow. Then you must be very capable. Of course, I will pay you in coin. What is your price?
While they're discussing this,
Like 50,000 or something.
The dark elf guy have, to the best of my knowledge, I'm not saying I would be really an expert on this or really know the difference, but just with my layman's understanding, does this dark elf seem similar in the way that he's carrying himself to the Cambion that we met?
You can make an insight check if you'd like.
14.
Does anybody else want to make an insight check
Yeah,
as
sure.
well?
I'll do it.
I'm not that racist.
Critical 19 versus Kirill's non-critical 24.
Oh, man. Yeah. So, Kirill, you pick up on something that's pretty subtle. I mean, as far as the way that he carries himself, he's not like the Cambion, because the Cambion was very talkative and in your face. This
Yeah,
guy
seems
he
pretty
hasn't said
flamboyant.
anything, and he hasn't really tried to intervene in the conversation that you guys have had at all. But Kirill, you noticed that when she was talking about when she used the phrase like whether they killed us in the night today or yesterday, or they killed us 2 months down the road, he kind of had like a slight curl to his smile, or to his lips, and then he also like just a little bit of his eye like was like made a wince, I guess, at that mention. But other than that, they just not really said anything or partaken in the conversation. He's just kind of listening to this happen attentively.
Can I like make an attempt to like sense evil?
Sound of truth right here.
Oh,
Just kidding.
Yeah, I mean, what spell or ability are you using to detect?
I mean, level 1 detect evil.
You detect alignment.
Okay.
Or you have a detect evil spell.
Yeah, anything within 30 yards that's explicitly evil, I can tell.
Okay.
Which I used unsuccessfully to try to find the mind flayer before.
Oh, that would actually qualify as evil. Yeah, no, that's pretty smart.
You know, if there's an aberration, celestial, elemental, fey, fiend, or undead within 30 feet of you, as well as where the creature is located. Okay, well, so before or as you start to cast that spell, he puts up his hands and speaks. Hold.
Oh,
What do you intend to do?
Something. Just
we do
Let's
this in
just-
every room we walk into.
And there's like this tense air that kind of comes into the room. Like, hey, you guys can all kind of feel it. You know, he's got one hand extended and he's like, hold on. What are you doing?
needless to say, there's been some dark creatures that have been kind of stalking us. I'm just making sure there's none around.
Very well. He gestures that you can continue.
So yeah, cast detect evil.
You detect no evil.
Well, okay, but that's safe than sorry.
That is good.
Yeah, so we're talking like I don't know, like 50,000 coins.
Out there, we don't even know if these.
That is
have-
absolutely absurd. 50,000 coins?
Oh, yeah, you said it yourself. We're quite
agree, that is
capable
absurd.
adventurers.
That's far too low to go into the maw.
God.
You're going to doom my daughter to a death at the hands of these half-ogres, then. Because right now, you're the only
No, actually,
people that can help.
you are.
You intend to doom us?
I don't even have 50,000 gold pieces. I couldn't sell my estate and the town for 50,000 gold pieces. So I'm not exactly sure where you're from, but if 50,000 gold pieces is the price that you would pay for this kind of service, wow, that's impressive, I guess.
Oh, it's each.
Oh my god.
I
know,
just asked if she'd be able to supply us with horses.
I can truthfully say that we turned down an offer for 50,000 gold pieces to go into the mall not 2 days ago.
This is not relevant to me at all. I'm sorry. I'm asking you to save my child. Is that I will beg you. I can't give you 50,000 gold pieces, but I could perhaps do you a favor. If there's something that I can assist you with, I am considered nobility in Jepper. I can get your foot in the door in some places. If that's something that you desire, I am at your mercy, I guess, in this. So
Can
work
you
with
give
me.
us ownership of the town?
I think
Could-
her
could
offer.
you,
God, you guys.
Does your first ranger here have any experienced associates in Gelrin?
Berwicks, do you know anybody? I guess I know some people there. I wouldn't really call them friends or anything. What are you looking for exactly?
We're on expedition to the Hollow Peaks, and if we could get an experienced guide to take us through there to avoid any kind of danger, that'd be incredibly useful.
You're at a loss there. Nobody I know has ever been in there, and
We're
I
not
wouldn't
going
recommend going.
into the Hollow Peaks. I do not think. I think we intended to end at children.
Yeah, well, we're going to Sharon to go to the Hollow Peaks.
It's sidebar. I'm pretty sure the Hollow Peaks are just filled with mind flayers, right?
No.
No, isn't it?
The
It
Hollow
is.
Peaks. The Hollow Peaks is a ancient dwarven city that the people of Banthashone cross through because there's that huge mountain range that crosses over pretty much the entirety of the west coast of Banthashone. And the only way that they could find through it was this place called the Hollow Peaks. When they went inside these mountains, they found this huge kingdom that was, for the most part, abandoned of sentient life. But they lost a ton of people died when they went through the Hollow Peaks to a lot of different stuff.
Is that where we think the living form of what's his face is at?
Yes. Yeah,
I thought it was in Joe.
Lycidas said that he was going, the last entry that he had, I think, in the journal, that's why you guys think he's there, is that it said that he was going to the Hollow Peaks.
Okay.
And that was the last information that you had on him.
Consequently, I think someone mentioned, I think the wizard guy in the last town, Woodman, the Mega Man boss, said that there was a mind flayer nest in the Hollow somewhere.
Okay, so that's not, we're not
Yes, he did
aiming for
mention
mind
that.
flayer. Okay, so having a guide actually wouldn't be bad, especially if he's actually a ranger. Even though this guy looks like he's dying.
Well, that guy's not gonna go with us to the Hollow Peaks.
That's why I say colleagues.
I've made the trip to the tribe's little nook a couple of times, so I know where it is. I will provide support from afar if it comes to that.
Do we want to do this? Yay? No?
Yeah, let's do it.
My only stipulation is that we don't even know if these orcs did this, and even if they did, they could have been provoked. So I'm fine with checking it out and bringing back
ogres,
her daughter.
Yeah.
Well, ogres, half ogres. Yeah, but we're gonna get a.
One of my guards was on duty last night at the granary. Guard Warren. He's currently in my dungeons. If you want to ask any questions to him to discern for certain if it was the half ogres, be my guest.
Why is he in your dungeon?
Because he allowed them to burn my granary down.
I tell you what,
It's worth asking.
I think we'll do it for whatever you can give us, but also some healing potions. You got any of those? We need some of those. It's going to be a dangerous journey. And we can't guarantee we'll kill them all. Just that we'll bring your daughter back. We might kill them all, we might not.
I think our help with the nobility we'll run into would be very beneficial.
Also, I would like to request that if we could be supplied with horses so we can run them down so they can't get too.
Yes.
Horses were killed by all the goblins that we killed outside town.
You could count the horses as down payment.
We can provide you horses. Yes. Simeon will take you to my dungeons, and Simeon, if you can provide them with some form of healing, I know that you have some of it stored around here, that would be much appreciated. Yes. I will set that straight away, please. She kind of motions for you to take your leave and gestures for Simeon, who you can gather that she's referring to the dark elf that's right next to her. and he starts to step down another corridor and beckons you to follow.
All right, I'm gonna follow the guy then.
Mm-hmm.
Sure. And then you can hear, is everybody following?
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
Yeah, I'd like to see the guy in
Yeah.
the dungeon.
Sure.
I'm gonna ready a chromatic orb.
What?
Shut up.
That's the Haldir special. So you you guys are taken basically through like the kitchen of this house, and then you go down through some cellars, and behind the cellars is like these iron bars, and you can see that there's a man. He's kind of sitting down on a straw bed that's in there, and you can see Simeon gesture to him. That's Guard Warren, if you're looking to ask any questions. And then he goes over to a few cabinets, opens them up, and you can see that there's a number of poultices and potions that are kind of lining the racks on there. He starts kind of sorting through some of them, taking a look, making sure they're good, and tossing them into a sack.
All
All
right.
right, then.
I do have a message. How dare do you have a message?
Nope.
I have message. But
That would probably be best. Because you already don't trust the Simeon guy.
yeah, I mean,
Is his name Simeon?
Yeah.
Like
Yeah.
the monkey?
yeah.
I'm assuming
Simeon.
Oh, like
you mean Sapien?
No, he means
Or
Simeon.
wait.
Yeah,
His name is Simeon.
It's
Yes.
his name, not his fucking race, you guys.
Yeah.
He's not a
Whoa.
monkey man.
Okay.
Yeah. I knew
Wait
what
a
you
minute,
meant. I
you
was
guys.
just clarifying.
Okay.
Maybe you could ask him.
Well, I mean, there's no way you and I would have communicated that, so I'll just ask him.
No, but I could literally just ask you
You could.
to ask him. With like, head nod.
So are you gonna do that, or?
Elbow in the ribs. Yes.
Okay.
I don't quite know
Point
what's
to your
happening.
head, point to his head.
So you guys are trying to non-verbally communicate
What the, right in front of this guy,
something,
dude.
but no, he's got his back turned to you guys. I mean, you might be paying attention to you. You can't really tell, but he's working through messing around with these potions, I guess, is essentially what he's up to.
Yeah.
Okay.
Well, I guess let's start asking him questions. I'll send him a message. What did you see last night? I'll point to him.
Are you sending this to the guard?
Prisoner.
To the prisoner? So you don't get a reply. He appears to be unconscious.
Okay. I'll look at the guard. Can I have one of those health potions?
How are we gonna question a guy who's sleeping?
Well,
I just grab my my scab, my sheathed sword, and kind of bang it against.
after a few moments, you hear groaning from the gentleman that's
Oh.
that's.
You said unconscious, not sleeping.
Well, you hear him groaning like he's like just getting up after
Okay, all right. I
something
get you.
terrible happening to him, and says, not again, no. He kind of curls up on the bed, trying to stay close to the wall.
Not again. What?
Oh, you're not
Drop
here
the
to
soap.
beat me.
No. We're here for information.
Oh, who the hell are you?
Well, we're adventurers, and we've been hired by the Duchess to save the girl. Do a little justice.
Great. That is good.
Well, I think if she gets her daughter back, she might not, keep you in a dungeon too much longer. So if you could help us out,
Tell us
I
everything you
wouldn't
saw
count
last
on
night.
it.
Why do you say that?
She's a terrible bitch, is why.
I knew it.
But in any case, what I saw last night, I was watching the center of town at my post, and then there were some figures that were messing around by the granary. They lit a torch, and I shot at them because I could see it was the half ogres, yeah, that's what they are. And I was just yelling at him to get out of here. I hit him.
You haven't had a lot of
and then
training.
they
have
ran.
you?
I was on a roof from building opposite, and well, they'd been pleasant with us in the past, and I figured I'd just fire a warning shot and scare them off, and I kind of did, and they may have been there a little bit longer than I had noticed them. They might have been sneaking around or something. I'm not too sure.
When did they stop being friendly?
Oh, last night, I guess.
That is the first.
Yes. Yeah, I think so. For them.
I'm gonna turn to like Haldir and the rest and be like, I do not know if I buy this story. Not his story. His story's fine. Is he drunk?
Make an insight check. Or a perception check would also fit in. But with that, you can tell. Let me see. This notification is literally right over the top of where I want to type. That's very inconvenient. All right. Okay. So you can tell that he is not telling the whole truth, and he is lying either to save his own ass, presumably, or for some other reason. It's possible. He looks very scared, very nervous.
Elbowing Tammin in the ribs again.
And you can see kind of clearly that he's scared not only of you guys, but he's also scared of the dark elf, who's now at this point finished with the desk, is kind of just like leaning leisurely against the wall. He's not really paying attention to the guy in the cell. He's kind of like looking you guys over more from a different angle now. So
well, I don't notice.
I'm still elbowing Tammin in the ribs.
I just kind of looked down at Nisha. Oh, okay. I'll send him a message.
Okay.
You know that is a half-truth. You're meddling in forces you do not understand. If you want to survive this, you need to tell us the absolute truth so we can make things right, and you might be able to get out alive. We might be able to help you.
Make a persuasion check.
Does he get guidance on that?
If you give him guidance.
I would totally give him guidance.
So roll a 1d4.
Yeah.
16.
It wasn't a 1.
He kind of lets out a sigh. He's like, so I may have been a bit intoxicated
So
last
is he
night.
saying this to me, or is he saying this out loud?
He's saying it out loud.
Okay.
And I didn't notice them until they had probably made a few trips, and I didn't really see exactly what they were doing, and I didn't exactly intend to shoot them. Basically what happened was I hear some scuffling and some more scuffling and some more scuffling. And at one point I yell at the night sky, I guess, to quit it. Because I figure it's like rats or something in the ceiling. Now kind of bang on the roof. And nothing happens. So it goes quiet for a little bit. But then starts moving again. So I get up and I look around. And I see some figures, tall figures, messing around by the granary, and they're carrying bags. And one of them has got a torch. She's just standing in the doorway, trying to guide people through, I guess, or something. And so I yell at him to stop, because the thieves, obviously. And I take a warning shot, but I hit him in the hand. He's got the torch, he drops it. It starts a fire, and they all run. And the granary goes up like the pile of tinder that it is. And that's that.
All right, so literally nothing about this, the Duchess's daughter, then.
I just didn't see anything about that, no.
Maybe she's into half ogres.
Who is he?
Say,
Maybe she's in.
Aren't half ogres quite brutish creatures to the
they have
Perfect.
already at one point they were the child of a human and an ogre. So I'm
yes, but
just
ogres
saying,
are like flat out evil, like kind of chaotic creatures. I don't
they're
even.
chaotic, but half ogre could be not.
Okay.
What I'm saying is there's a Romeo and Juliet situation here.
Oh my god.
More like a Grog and Juliet.
Misha may have read too many books.
Yeah, she's all more excited now.
I find it very unlikely that situation, miss.
Okay.
As Nire's daughter is only 8.
Oh, wow.
Okay.
She's
That's
definitely
really
into
young.
Did these ogres force their way into the manor?
So far as we can tell, no. But the timing, you see, is... She has a
Hang out
room
at
in the
night.
manor, 2nd floor. Yes. They managed to make it to the center of town. You can see that things are not exactly up to the standard of real gods.
This is a mess. It seems like you guys are a bunch of evil men instead of guards.
You guys.
This seems.
Kind of looks at you funny when you
No
say
one
that.
saw anyone, and they went through the whole town. They got to the center of town, and no one saw these creatures. Only hearsay.
Well, I saw the creatures. I mean,
You're one
and then
man. No one
we
else?
chased them into the woods, but we didn't see anything besides them carrying sacks.
So they were
How
trying to
many
steal the
sacks?
grain,
How many sacks?
and then you kind of smacked a torch out of one's hand, and then it lit everything.
Yes.
How many sacks did you see them carrying?
I saw at least 5, maybe, and they were all carrying 2 apiece, as big sacks, as much as they could carry. And they could carry a lot.
Is the princess
Well,
the
this
only
is-
person missing?
Well, after last night, yes.
Okay.
Interesting. This sounds like a comedy of errors. But do you know?
You're gonna tell me that nobody was in the manor last night? Where was the Duchess?
She did go missing, did she not?
The drow kind of thinks about it for a moment and then says, so far as I know, the Duchess was at the night, and her guard, Warren, was also at the manor. Well, excuse me, not Warren. Marv was also at the manor. But
They didn't notice some fucking half ogres traipsing through here.
Not until the granary caught on fire and the commotion started. And then they both left the manor. They said they barred the entrance. Berwick's is a ranger who also lives near the manor, and he did not see anything. We inspected her room, and we did not find any forced entry or anything of that nature.
Where were you during all of this? Not to be rude.
It was in my home, in town.
You do not stay here.
No. I'm an advisor. Or...
Yes.
All right.
And
So you're an
also
advisor, so you should be pretty wise on some things, I would assume, right? So what, in your opinion, explains the fact that we have no idea what happened here, and nobody can really explain it?
What do you mean? We know that
Well-
the half-ogres stole a grain, and the fire was accidental. The daughter's disappearance is suspect, but other than that, we have very little information to go on.
Well, yeah, I'd say extremely suspect.
This is
Wouldn't
not
you?
the first example of an individual going missing in this town.
All right, well, what happened in the other instances? Because I've got a feeling these things are unrelated.
Or
Quite
an
possible.
opportunity for somebody to take her with enough distraction.
Unfortunately, we don't know what happened to the other individuals who have gone missing over the past 6 months. There's been, I believe, 4. I've only arrived just recently.
So what do you know the ages and genders of the?
One was an old farmer who lived by the pond. Another was a woodsman who lived a bit farther out of town. I believe the third was one of our blacksmiths, and the fourth was, I think, his daughter. Warren, do you know? And Warren's like, yeah, I do. We had another gentleman who lived here. He's actually the first one. He's an old man, but we didn't see any sign of anything. In all of these cases, we never found anything that indicated where they went to anything like that. It's just that they were gone. So,
This town is kind of similar in size to the town we grew up in, right?
yes, probably even a little bit small.
I was gonna say, because small towns like this, like it would be strange to have people disappear like at all, generally speaking, like because people would usually find like bodies if they were eaten by like wild animals or something. But
A lot of people thought at first that they were just maybe fleeing, but fleeing this town in general, just because of the way things have been going lately. But just based on the people who have gone missing and timings, it doesn't really make a whole lot of sense.
I think
It's-
they've got a cannibal problem.
possibly it started at the pond outside of town, then it affected the woodsmen who seem to be closer, and now they come into town all the way to the Duchess's daughter.
Does anyone in town or have the ability to like scry on a target?
The drow kind of looks at you for a moment, like, that's a very strange question, but yes, I'm capable.
You can scry.
I can.
Couldn't you take like piece of clothing from the girl's room and kind of like try to divine where?
I've tried. This very morning, and unfortunately, I could not find her.
Nothing.
Nothing.
Would
Sounds
I
not
know?
sounds an awful like when what's his butt's son went missing, right? Yeah.
Yep.
Whose son?
The
Richard.
man who has the
Richard Tam.
mansion.
Yes.
Wesser, I think his name was.
Wesser, that makes sense.
West.
He was farther in though, wasn't he? Like the town he went missing.
He was in Skull, supposedly, last time that they heard from
He
him.
also can't be scried, or people have been unsuccessful in doing so. And can you say the same about everyone here in this town? Do you know? Or attempts made?
Yes, for the blacksmiths.
I can't say. I wasn't here, and I suspect that they did not. Warren?
If we try,
No, we don't have those kind of resources on hand normally, and I doubt that even he would look in on a regular peasant, to be honest.
Even he?
He gestures over at Simeon, and Simeon doesn't really make any response.
but if we find one, we could find the others. Possibly, if we could gather an object from each of these places, he could try. I don't know if it would help.
Potentially, I would be unable to accomplish that today, and I would find the mistress would. I would bet the mistress would be quite upset if you guys were still here tomorrow. Honestly, I imagine she's getting a bit upset at even this delay.
Is it a delay if we are actually looking for her daughter, and not
Yeah,
just
well,
on a
to be
wild
honest with
goose
you, it doesn't
chase?
quite matter what the mistress thinks.
It does not seem like the ogres are smart enough to engage in political rants. They bungled a grain robbery.
Well, I don't know if that was necessarily their fault. But all the same, the half-race tribes of the Maw are cunning and hardy, especially considering that they're not allowed access to the cavern systems in the Maw.
Who's keeping them out?
There is an order, a hierarchy of creatures in the Maw, full-blooded, pure creatures, and their tribes do not tend to look kindly on those that mix human or any other.
We should probably see her room before we do or go anywhere else. That was the last place she was seen.
Yes.
What's this girl look like?
She has auburn hair, fair complexion. She's, I don't know, 3 foot tall, 3.5 foot tall. Pretty short for her age.
Wait, she's
3.5 foot tall?
She's 8 years old.
She's 8.
This
That's
elf's
still
perception
pretty
of
short.
hate is a little.
Well, he is a dwarf.
He's not. You know, he's a.
No, he's an elf.
Wait. Oh, wait. Are we talking to the guard or the Simeon? I thought we were talking to.
Simeon is the one who's speaking at this moment.
Okay.
Simeon Stareye.
I'm assuming that he's wrong on the 3 foot tall thing, unless she's like half halfling.
Anyway, we know she's not a full adult.
Okay.
So we'll obviously know it's her when we see her in the maw.
Still would want to check her room in case there's some clue there as to who might have taken.
I agree.
Sure.
I don't know if I trust this dark elf. Not for racist reasons.
Right this way, then.
I'm not a racist.
Just saying.
So he takes you up to this lady's room, and you can investigate the room. So if you guys are kind of like scanning it over, what are you looking for?
Signs of a scuffle, maybe a diary or a journal or something like that. Anything that might indicate something that doesn't look out, something that looks out of place.
Or something like almost supernatural.
Sure. Well, then whoever is going to do that, make an investigation check.
I will also give whoever does that a guide. Do they get advantage because we're helping?
So one person can make the roll with advantage, and you can give them guidance.
Yeah.
I'm not a very good investigator.
I don't have very keen eyes.
Anyone is, but I'll do it. I don't care.
Yeah, I don't know if anybody is.
What do
good
you elf eyes
Boom.
see?
I'm not that bad at it, actually, apparently.
Roll.
+4.
Yeah, you're much better than me. Roll that d4.
See my negative.
Okay.
21.
So you thoroughly comb over the room, and like they had said before, you don't seem to see any signs of forced entry. You look through her possessions and her belongings. You do find a journal that she keeps, and after peering through a few pages of it, nothing really indicates that, there's no secret friend or anything like that, or there's no love affair with a half ogre boy or anything like that. It's it's really
Such a
like
bummer.
basic day-to-day stuff. There's nothing in there that really indicates
Nothing like she met somebody or.
no. It's just our day-to-day life in Pix or in Nire rather.
Is there any? Is there any like markings on the window or anything? Like she did try to climb out?
No.
Is the window open?
No, they're closed. There's no indication that there would be anybody climbing up the sides of the structure either. Looks pretty clean. There's no like climbing hooks or anything like that. Yeah.
It's
Hmm.
strange to be able to just take somebody directly from their home without a fight. It's
Unless she wasn't taken. She went willingly.
well, that is my point. There's only one thing I can think of that we've met recently in the woods, even outside town, that could do something like that or have someone willingly do it.
Yeah, something that would influence the mind.
Exactly.
What would that be?
Drugs.
Mind flayers.
You encountered mind flayers on the road.
We've encountered 2 mind flayers at this point since coming to this area.
Have quite an infestation.
It might be the same one, to be fair.
That's rather unlucky. What did you do to piss off the hive?
Nothing.
It is you. Obviously, there's 4 in your town missing.
It's certainly possible, but I find it unlikely. They have more important things to do, and they could easily find prey closer to their homes. I don't know why they would seek this particular child or any of the other individuals that were taken.
Could be, could not, but it is a explanation to how to get a child to leave their home on a night of chaos, who doesn't look like they have any intention of leaving on their own.
He nods as he concedes the point.
Either way, we do not know where she is. We couldn't go to the ogres and see if they know anything, but I doubt it. Half ogres.
Still, we should maybe try to track down the ogres anyway.
Does
Yay.
your
Since
hunter man, ranger, whatever you call him, is he able to communicating with these things?
Communicating with. I'm sorry. What?
The
Communicating-
ogres.
Half ogres should speak
They
common?
they speak our own language. Yes, you'll find that they are actually rather
Oh,
capable and clever individuals. Yes.
Well, yeah, I didn't say anything they weren't. I just want to, if we can talk to them,
You
because
can-
I also don't think that these things stole the kid. So I guess we can go look into it for you.
I'll nod.
I think that's a good idea. Considering, especially considering that, well, the mind flayers seem to be consorting with those goblins, so who says they can't consort with some?
They were definitely controlling the goblins. Or making them more brave and more coordinated than they should have been.
Yes, but they were the greater goblins who were controlling the masses, but
Are you talking about the? Out of
it was
character,
like
you're
the
talking about
taller.
the
They was like
mages?
they were like the taller caster goblins.
Yeah.
That was definitely where mind flayers are. I don't know how those would be mind flayer affiliated.
It's very difficult to remember exactly what Richard told you about them, but he said something to the extent of there's like hierarchies with these goblins, and the smarter ones, like they can control, or the higher ones in the hierarchy can mentally control the goblins and manipulate them, which you witnessed. So
The
they're
higher,
not. Yeah, go ahead.
a higher being than the higher goblins control the higher goblins and thus control the whole hierarchy.
Certainly possible. It's your own intuition.
It seems to track out. So we are going to go meet these half ogres to try and talk to them. Not kill them. Maybe they have some clue as to what is happening to the disappearances here.
Yes, we're not going to swing swords if we don't find answers about the girl.
Okay.
And I think that's it. Then we should get going.
With our new horses.
Yep.
Ooh,
So
we should probably
you
double up on horses, actually.
well, they didn't give you extra. But you do see that Ranger Berwick's has procured you guys all horses that look of pretty good stock to ride north. So you guys mount up and head north, following Berwick's. Is this correct?
This is correct.
Yeah, I think so.
Sounds good to me.
We got some potions.
If only we talked
How
to the
many
guy
potions?
that already
yes.
Yeah,
asked
how
us
many
to go
then?
into the maw.
He gave you 5. There's 5 of you, so he gave you 5 minor healing potions.
Wow.
Is
What a-
Haldir
what a
equipping his
guy.
bandolier?
He's got all 5 right now.
Yeah,
Yeah.
Oh,
he's
you guys
got the
can make them.
bandolier, so
Bloop, bloop, bloop.
you've got the special carrying case.
No,
for
I
him.
already have 2 potions on me, so I'll just go up to 3.
Oh, I've got 3. What does other people
I have
have?
1, and that's the
I have
one.
none.
The one he gave
I
me
have
is that it.
0.
I have
That's fine.
none.
I can have 1. It's okay.
So that's 2. So then 3 more between.
I don't need any. I can touch myself.
Take
We-
one.
Oh, okay. Hey,
take at least
if
one.
you're giving him one and he
And
doesn't
then
want it,
Yang-
I'll take it.
Yang can get the last 2 then.
Probably.
You should always have at least one.
Cobes, you
Yeah.
don't want that?
I've
take
used
it.
all of
I'll take minor healing potion,
Okay.
especially because like they say, trust Yane, feel the pain.
Mm-hmm.
Do they say that?
They do.
They do
All of
now.
them.
Huh.
All of them.
This is our conversation as we're riding out of town.
Yeah. And he takes you north, following kind of set trails that appear to have been used numerous times in recent history. And after a few hours, you guys start coming closer to the maw. And so, again, the way that the maw looks, it is essentially mountains stacked on top of mountains. So there is large mountains, like think Rockies, right? That are cresting this in a large circle. And at the tops of those mountains, they're kind of like doled down a little bit because resting on top of it is another slab of stone. And on top of that slab of stone, which has its own stalagmites and stalactites and coming down and all that stuff, there is more mountains on top of it. So you're kind of like,
This is a Blade's
it's
Edge
like-
Mountains.
it's like if you took Mount Everest and you cut out the middle portion of it and you like left pillars so that it was still holding itself up.
Okay.
And you can see into it. So
Pretty
at
cool.
at some points in the maw, when the sun is shining, and it's usually when it's kind of either at dawn or at
It looks like a
sunset, you can it looks like a job, but you also the sun goes into the maw, like you can see farther.
Wow.
Like those are the lightest times in the maw, is at dawn and at sunset.
That makes
so,
sense. Very cool.
Yeah, and as you are kind of getting into the shadow of these mountains, Berwick's kind of slows down a little bit, and he's like, "All right, so for one, we should leave our horses here, and for two, keep your heads down and try not to make a lot of noise, because we could see a dragon and it could eat us. So I don't want that to happen, really. So let's try and avoid that."
And we promised we wouldn't go after the dragon without the gentleman.
Yes, sure. But even more dangerous than the dragon is falling rocks, which they happen all the time. So if a rock hits you,
More dangerous than a dragon, you say?
yeah, because it just happens all the time and it's random. So
Oh, it's much like how cougars are way more dangerous than sharks because it's more likely.
No, don't start this.
Oof,
are you talking about the crag
No,
cats
no,
in the north?
No,
I know those guys.
I've never heard of a shark.
No, I hate that shit so much.
Well, I assure you that
Anyway.
unlike a cougar attack, these are quite deadly.
Oh my god.
Fucking rocks.
Because, a rock falling from a couple thousand feet that weighs like 200 pounds is going to turn you into mush. So, keep your head down and also look up.
Keep your head down.
But keep your
But keep your head down.
But look up.
Yes. All right. Come on. Follow me. He starts taking you through kind of like a winding path that leads up a squat mountain. Just a smaller mountain in this range. And he takes you through the pass to the point where it's getting a little bit later in the evening. And you're getting a little bit more light. But at some point he stops and he kind of motions for you all to stop. And he points down over like the ridge that the lip of the trail that you guys are on. And you see, as you kind of look over, you see a large flat slab of stone that has some carvings on it. And it's kind of like covers a large portion of this kind of like ridge between two mountains, I guess, or two it's like a valley, but it's like very sharp. But there's this kind of unnaturally flat portion, and you see that there's tons and tons of literal tons of rocks that have fallen onto this slab and shattered, and so it's kind of like covered in dust and bits, and you kind of see him point down, and he says, "So the easiest way is to go back down, back where we came from. There's a small ridge you can climb down, and then that's the entrance right there. It's just a small one, probably fit 2 of you at a time. One of them,
One of me.
one of you, maybe half
Name
of
is
you.
2.
You're about the same size as them. But yeah, so and he kind of looks around to see if there's anybody watching. Again, as he has been pretty consistently. He says they generally come out at dawn, right, and at dusk. And they hunt, but they can also, I mean, they work tools in there. They're, as far as we know, they have a blacksmith or some type of. They cut gems for us, or they used to. So that's where it is, and so I will stay here and watch out,
Why
and
did
you
they
guys
stop?
can go in. Say again?
Why did they stop cutting gems for you?
Oh, well, I don't know. I don't really deal with that trade part of
You don't have to
Nire.
deal with it to hear stories or know something.
There's not really stories to hear as far as Nire is concerned. So I don't know. They came through town like 3 days ago, but they were turned away. So I don't know.
All right.
Well, all right. I guess I'll go in front. Let me go inside.
Okay. So you guys start climbing down into like this ravine, so that you guys can enter in through this little, not necessarily a cave, but little overhang area.
Yeah, I think so.
Like a
Are we going to call out to
little
them?
plateau over there. Maybe not
Well,
a plateau, but
First of all, he kind of described where they are to us, but like,
yeah.
are we going to have this situation where it's like, oh, but you don't actually know remember what he said? Because I don't remember what he said.
Me neither.
No. So he just I mean, it's not but like 300 feet away from you. You can see where it is. It's not like you're leaving off to go find something. You know exactly where it is. And I guess I don't understand the question.
They're that close to us?
Yeah, like he dropped us off at basically their camp, is what it sounded like. Is what I interpreted.
You
that
guys
as,
are
yeah.
literally.
I thought we had to like go deeper in or something. Okay.
So
No.
yeah.
Thank God, no. Yeah.
You guys
Alright.
you kind of like took you a little bit closer to a point where logistically you can't get there unless you take a vertical jump down to it. So he's like, okay, this is where it is, so you can see it. And then he said, okay, now you need to go back down the trail to this place where you can climb down into the ravine, and then you can walk over to the opening. Or you could climb down from the top if you wanted to, obviously.
What if we just peek our heads down in there and say, hey, anybody home?
Yell it.
We could try that.
I mean, we can like see the camp? You said we're like really close, right?
You can see. So again, it's essentially a ravine. Okay, so
Yeah.
imagine a sharp
We're
valley.
on like the overhang.
There's
above
stones,
it,
and you're
right?
on the. Yes, but the cave is essentially what it is. Is there's a huge stone slab, a flat one, that covers a large area in front of you that they hide under, so the rocks don't kill them. So they're
I see what you
underneath.
mean.
They're
And the
underneath.
rocks land on top and
Yeah.
shatter and don't hurt them. Because
Yeah,
they're under it. I gotcha.
exactly.
So it's like a ravine that goes. Okay, I think I understand it. Huh. That's pretty cool. I imagine it's. Is it kind of dark under there right now, or is it that time of day where we can sort of see in there?
You don't see any. You don't see any light coming from the cavern, and while you do have more light than you have, or you're gaining light even as you're talking, it's not going to last very long for one, and it's not going to point directly into the cavern.
I don't think bird vision is going to do any good then.
I say we just peek in there and say, hey.
Indeed.
I think that's
Or
our
we could
only
just-
option.
That is why we
Or
were
we could
here.
just leave. Yeah.
They weren't
Alright.
violent in town, so I do not expect a fight.
Let's just kill them all. We're gonna do it anyways.
I expect a fight if Yane gets to say in what we do. Yane
Yeah.
is strangely as
Again, there will
bloodthirsty
be
as
a time
Al
for that,
was.
but not at the
I
beginning.
wonder
okay?
why.
All right. Well, yeah. I guess let's go down and let's
What?
try to, let's see what's
Okay.
going on.
And so, how do you wish to approach the cave entry?
Slowly and stealthily.
Okay, so
Stealth?
if you desire to do that, you may roll stealth checks.
I'm not gonna try
I
this.
don't
Alright.
think I'm gonna be very stealthy.
gonna be super
Well,
stealthy.
if no one else
Follow
is, then
your
I'm not even gonna try. Obviously.
No, I'm
I can
trying.
follow
Am I
your
going?
lead.
Am I
Aha!
going ahead?
Stop
of
trying. Everybody stop
You? Am
trying.
I going ahead of you guys?
Trying.
Or...
Only Yane is stealthy.
Stop trying. Stop.
Critical fail with a +9.
Stop.
Yikes.
Holy shit! You have because you have your
The boots.
special boots.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Trying.
Can't believe you.
Fuck it.
Damn it, tells
I
all of
rolled
us to
the
be
lowest
stealthy
with
and
the
quiet.
+9, dude. What the?
All right, I guess you guys are all the
All
distractions.
right, guys. Let's be real
So
quiet.
as you guys are moving forward into towards the mouth of the cave, you hear a voice cry out from inside, and it's kind of deep and lower. It says, "Stop right there! Who approaches the clan?"
Well,
only
we're,
4 people.
We need
We're
to come up with a
company
name for
adventurers,
ourselves.
Yane yells out, "Only 4 people."
and we're emissaries on behalf of the Duchess.
We want nothing to do with them. Leave
We don't,
or be punctured with arrows.
we don't really want anything to do with them either.
Yeah, we just want the girl.
Yeah, you know anything about her daughter? She's missing.
We don't
missing
have
last
any
night.
girl. We don't have anything.
All right. Well,
But-
can I ask you one other thing? If you guys had anyone go missing, because the town they got a lot of people going missing, and see, they think it's you guys, but I don't. That doesn't make any sense. But maybe you guys got people missing too. You know?
We lose some of our numbers every day. I don't know what you mean by missing.
Missing without a trace. Just
Yeah, I'm not talking about like died in
taken
combat.
in the
I mean,
night.
just vanished.
No.
No.
No. Good enough for
Okay,
me.
that's good. Good for you guys. Is there a
So-
reason you're so against having a little chat with us?
You're well armed and you're approaching our home.
Well,
I
yeah.
Free to speak.
What
at
kind of
this
idiot wouldn't
distance.
come well armed to the mall? Has nothing to do with our intentions.
What do you expect us to do? Invite you in for tea?
Do you have tea?
I think
Well-
that'd be quite nice, actually.
That's
You
actually
can
would
fuck
be
off.
lovely.
You're not invited.
All right,
What
all
do I
4 of
got
us
to
are
do to
gonna
get
leave.
How do we
invited?
get into this tea party?
He actually sounds lovely.
What do I got to do to get invited, my friend?
He thinks for a moment.
Don't hurt yourself.
You don't hear anything happening in the cave. I suppose you could kill the dragon that's been bothering us if you want to do that.
Oh my god.
And then we'd invite you in. Sure.
Man, that's a lot to ask for a tea party, don't you think?
Thank you.
Well,
Listen,
you're the ones who want in. So if that's what you
Listen.
want, go
Tell
ahead.
us about this dragon.
no. Just listen. You see, the Duchess seems to think you took her daughter, and we kind of strolled into town, and they ordered us to come up here and get the girl, and she wanted us specifically to murder all of you, and we're not interested in doing that. Nah, we might think it's in your best interest to try to cooperate, because she's probably going to send more people up here, and they probably won't be as friendly as us.
That sounds like Nire.
Yeah, they won't
didn't steal
want any
anything.
tea.
We didn't steal anything, and we didn't touch her daughter.
Oh, you didn't steal anything.
Well, he had sacks, though. I
Well,
mean,
what
I
happened?
don't not
See, that's news to us. What happened?
We paid for grain, and we got our grain.
Who'd you pay? The
Did you have
what-
to set the
Nire.
granary on fire?
No, they didn't set the granary on fire. Remember, the other guy did. He
Oh, that's
hit him with
right.
he shot him
Yeah,
with an arrow.
The idiot. Yeah, I'm sorry.
Hmm.
No,
You
you
said
guys
that
seem
Ni-
like
you said that
stand-up
Nire
fellows.
We like you a lot.
Can I
more
do an
than them.
inside check?
On a voice coming from a cave? Yeah, sure.
I'm totally
Yeah,
buying
I mean, it's
everything
a
this guy is
voice.
saying.
It is a voice, and it's
honestly.
coming from a cave.
It makes what he's saying makes a lot of sense. Like,
No, these guys are
Well,
obviously not.
seems
Yeah.
genuine.
guys
Seems
are totally-
like he's telling the truth.
Why, if you purchased the grain, why did you come to collect in like the middle of the night?
Because the dragon's probably sleeping.
or because
And they
she
probably
doesn't want the
not desired
people to
around the
know.
town.
Nire rejected the offer, but she took our gems. So, by our courts, she accepted the offer.
What kind of gems?
Rubies, sapphires, I don't know. All kinds of shit. I don't cut them. I guard the cave.
Wait, so she accepted your gems.
Would you
then
accept
denied you the
a token of parlay on our behalf? And I'll pull out the hefty sapphire gem that I have.
We have
you know
Where
harm,
have
we
you
make
kept
plenty of
that
those.
thing?
We needed grain. And no, you may not come in and talk. I think we've talked enough.
You were in the town the night that her daughter disappeared. We are not saying that you did it. We do not believe you did it. But would you have seen anything that seemed unusual other than the burning fire and screams of horror?
You ask that, and there's silence for a while. And then they reply, no one saw anything out of the norm.
Have you seen any mind flayers recently? Any sort of, deranged creatures coming, goblin hordes that seem a little more empowered than before?
They have tentacle thingies on their face.
No, nothing like that. It's been a relatively uneventful year.
I'm glad someone's having an uneventful year.
Indeed.
Thanks. Now leave.
I don't think we could kill it.
I don't
These guys
think we
aren't
Yeah, but you didn't
cooperating.
even invite me in for tea, man.
I'm actually very
He's
sorry.
really sticking on the T here.
So I don't,
All
I don't
four
know
of
what
us
we're
are
gonna do
leaving.
from here.
You'll have to forgive my friend. He loves tea.
Hey,
Is it
real
just love?
quick before we leave. When you guys make deals with the townspeople and all that, are they just verbal agreements?
Yes, I guess. We bring them coin, we make a trade. That's it. Last time we went, they rejected our request, but they took our payment, and then they shoved us out. We didn't
That's it.
attack anybody, we didn't hurt anybody. We took what we paid for.
The whole town did this.
I'm
Or
sorry.
Was it the town or was it Nire?
Just the noblewoman.
I'm thinking it was just a noblewoman, but I
We
want
only deal with Nira.
Have there ever been anyone else from the town at these meetings?
someone maybe who saw her take your coin and refuse
was-
your deal.
A dark elf there
Mm-hmm,
last time, but he didn't say anything. It was
Alright.
rather unnerving to see one of their kind among the surface people. But I suppose they're making their plays.
What do you think about this fellow?
They're setting us up for this.
What do you think about this fucking what's this guy's name? This ranger guy who used to come and do business with you. He a good fella.
Kind of
It's
trusting
always
him to
done
take
right
us back
by
out.
us, I guess. I don't know. They're fine people for the most part.
So he's not going to drop us off a ravine.
They're better than the clans in the Maw. That's why we trade with them.
Well, that was a horrible setup. The real question is do we believe that she actually believes her daughter is out here?
I believe that
Or
part
is
of the
that just a
story is
ploy?
true. She's just looking for an easy out to kill these
It
people.
sounds
No, I
like
say if she's full of shit, we should kill her.
it sounds like
Yes,
more
let's do it.
yes, she wants us to kill them to hide her dirty dealings.
That's what I'm saying. Yes.
And I think their grain maybe was very important for the town to survive, and she maybe valued a few more gems than she valued the town's survival. Of course, I don't know this person.
Hey guy. How much money would these gems be worth, you think?
As much as you people care about them, I don't know. They don't have any monetary value for most people in the Maw.
A fortune probably would be my guess. Because again,
Grain is worth more than gems to us.
he looked at Tammin's gem and didn't care. I say as I point at Tammin's
Right.
massive gem.
He didn't care.
Alright, well I say we go talk to this fellow who brought us here, convince him that he's on the wrong side. Then we go confront this lady. We get the gems back. We give them to you, and then you let us in for some tea. What do you think about that?
Oh my god, I love your insistence on the tea. How do you get something in his head?
I like the part where you guys leave. That's good.
I do not
That's
think
a
he
good
cares
part.
about gems at all. But we should still try to find her daughter. I do believe that she is missing.
I don't.
Think that she has her hidden and is using it as an excuse?
I don't really know. I'm not sure she even has a daughter.
I think she has.
There's no way she could bullshit that.
Not with everybody saying she has one.
Say, you got a name there, partner?
Aaron Ironskin.
Aaron Ironskin?
Yes.
Alright, well, I'm Hal Deer, and it just so happens we might be coming back to these parts at some point, specifically to kill that dragon. So if we
Indeed.
do, I'm gonna come find you and pick you up on that.
Specifically, this dragon.
Well,
Distract.
I don't know, were there a lot of dragons in the mall?
Yes, there's a lot.
Alright, what's the scariest one? Because that's the one that we're gonna try and kill, I think.
You hear a loud sigh emanate from the cave. I don't know. Gertagra, the Red, is probably the most dangerous.
Oh, I think
She
it was
lives in
a
the
blue
upper maw.
dragon.
She's to the east. She doesn't range this far.
What's the name of this
Sucks
dragon?
to be him. Karik. The Black.
Carcentric.
Black.
Stop.
Could be that. I don't know. I've never heard him say the name. Could be Carcentric. I don't know.
No.
All right, I think we'd best be away then.
Indeed. Maybe back at the town we might be able to find more information.
All right. So you guys start heading out.
Yeah.
Okay. You guys go back up. There are ways that you came down to the lip, and Berwick's is like, well, that I didn't go like I thought it would.
Kind of went exactly how I thought it would.
He could like hear all of it.
Could you hear what we were talking about?
Yep, it's right up here.
Yeah.
What do you think?
Pretty far. I thought he was really far up. Maybe I'm wrong.
I think
Voice
that
is scary
lady's
in
full
the
of.
mountains.
I guess it
I
is.
think
a mountain,
your
but-
Duchess is kind of full of shit there, buddy.
Well, I believe that she really thinks that these guys
people have
took her
no
daughter.
reason to lie to us, and they mentioned that they had no interactions with any.
I believe that could happen.
I believe that could happen.
I don't know why she changed her mind. You'd have to ask her. But I would suspect she grew tired of, I don't know, dealing with half
Perhaps
breeds or
it's just a secret she
savages.
doesn't
I
want
don't
to
know.
get out, but for whatever
How
reason,
long?
this is certainly not
Uh,
a noble quest that we've been sent on.
How long ago did you start having dealings with those guys? Would you say?
I mean, I've been in the town for a long time, but we dealt with them on numerous occasions under different chieftains. Maybe 30 years off and on. It's not really a very consistent thing.
How long has Simeon been in your village?
I think he's only been there about a month.
About a month, and then suddenly your trade negotiations go to shit.
That doesn't look good for him, I suppose. But I don't want to get caught up in this at all.
No, of course.
And if we go back and tell Nira that we didn't go in there and look, she's probably going to be, upset.
Her daughter's not in there.
We don't know that, though. They could be
No.
lying.
No, I think they're telling the truth.
The whole time I talked to Miss Nira, I thought she was lying. The whole time I talked to this guy, I thought he was telling them the truth. So, that's how I feel about the matter.
There is still the issue of her daughter missing, though, and there is only one person who could scried for her or tried, and this person maybe didn't want to find her.
Or, yeah, I don't know. I've heard those things can fail, so maybe it just didn't succeed. I don't know.
All I know is that everyone's gonna have their time in the zone of truth.
No one is safe.
Get this shit worked out of.
Well, are we going back then? Should do it
Indeed.
before it gets dark. Lose our footing. And if we have to light torches, yes,
Let's go.
How do you feel about this whole debacle, if you don't mind me asking?
Well, let's talk about it while we walk.
Yeah, that's fair. I'm curious your thoughts, though. I mean, how long have you been in Nire's employ? I mean, this seems pretty...
I said I've been in town a long time. I mean, I don't know, 50 years.
You've
But-
been... wow, that is an extensive amount of time. You've been with Nire the whole time? Or working with her the whole time?
No, the Duchess is fairly new, I guess. She's maybe 7 years into her, call it a reign, her stewardship of the land.
I see.
She hasn't done any better or
Does this
worse
seem
than
like
the people
new
before her.
behavior, or is this something that is pretty par for the
Her daughter
course?
going missing?
No,
That's pretty.
no. I mean, her ordering the genocide of innocent individuals.
I would really be hard pressed to think that she thinks they're innocent. They're half ogres who live in the mall, and her daughter is missing. I imagine she
understand,
100% blames.
But we have no evidence.
She could easily blame them because she rolled them for what they were worth. Not saying she's right, just saying that could be why she actually believes that they took her.
That makes sense to me. If it happened exactly like that, and she pissed them off, then it makes sense for her to. That's pretty bad news for us because we have very little means to protect ourselves, and I'm very old.
And they were right outside your town, like they were getting. It was more like a war party than anything else.
How many people or how many goblins did you say there were?
Healthier, try not to exaggerate this
50
time. How
plus
many?
goblins. Easy. Maybe more.
We killed at least 100 goblins. I'm serious. I'm not exaggerating, I don't think. And we didn't kill all of them.
High.
I think actually that might be close to the right number, or maybe a little less, but around 100 is accurate, I think. There were hordes of them.
Well, let's hope they don't come.
I
to
myself killed at least 30. I'm like actually.
Of that actually.
Holds
I'm
up
pretty
his hands.
Actually positive.
Yeah,
I
that's
don't
true.
really care how many you killed. I'm just concerned about how many are left. And if they're going to go to Nire, then maybe we should leave. Because we really have very little protection left. If you think it's an imminent threat, then we may want to consider trying to convince her to abandon this land, at least for the winter.
Were they closer to Pix or Nire when we found them?
You're about 8 miles from Nire, so you're closer to Nire.
Much closer to Nire. Okay, so they were like literally camped outside town.
Right.
Yeah.
Yeah,
no,
that's pretty far actually
Yeah,
from
that's-
the mountain. That's really far.
they
35
were
miles from the mountain.
one day into attacking basically if they wanted to.
Yeah, they're moving out. Well, oof. What's going on with Udenshire? They might be gone.
Well, we don't know if they came from the mall. I don't know. I don't think
Well, we have.
'cause they were camped here.
I don't know if goblins are in the maw. It wouldn't be foolish to assume that. But
There
we do
are
know-
goblins in the maw,
We do know
but
that
they're
the
different tribes.
big fucking like ultra goblin territory is that Yiping Mountains. We've been
What do you
told
know?
that by
Oh,
multiple-
do you know something about the goblins in the mountain up, west of you, your town? Do they have the
East.
do they have
yeah.
like a tattoo marking thing of like an eye with
Ah.
like
I fought in the Goblin Wars. A couple of them. Yes, there's like royalty. They're like sons of the queen or king of the goblins. They're different. They're taller. They're smarter, and they can manipulate the lower class ones. I've seen one of them order 20 of their brethren to jump on top of them to save them from a fireball. It's pretty heinous.
we killed a couple of those guys. but they all of them had the mark on their head.
They all bear the mark, yes, but the higher ones are the ones that control through it.
Yeah, but I thought maybe that was like clan specific or something, so we'd know which ones they were.
Well, yes, it's Yip Yang Mountains, and that's the main hive of the. That's where the smart ones come from, so far as we can tell.
Well, then they've obviously bypassed Pix and headed right for you. Because they were.
Were they headed for us? Why would they come to Nire?
We don't know that they might have been coming for us. Quite true, honestly.
Why
who
would
knows?
they come for us?
It's just the second time we've seen a mind flayer. The first time a mind flayer was coming for us, so you know.
Well, they were just kind of camping on the road and kind of try to ambush us.
I think they might have been camping, getting ready for attack on it. There were an awful lot of them.
And yet it still wasn't enough, apparently.
Oh, it was close.
Aw, thank you.
They're rather combustible creatures.
That's true. A few well-placed fireballs definitely buck up their ranks.
All right, so we got to be getting close back to this town by now, right?
Well, not really, but yes. You guys can ride through the night, because it's dusk and you're still probably.
Oh, it's been that long. Oh, okay.
Yeah, you're still you're 17 miles away, so you probably would realistically need to make camp for an evening.
Okay.
Sure.
And you can probably set up a camp on the outskirts of the mall. Is anybody taking watch?
I'll take first watch.
Oh,
for
fuck
sure.
yes, we're taking watch.
I think. Yeah, I'll take first watch for sure.
And Berwick says, "Yeah, I know it's pretty cold, but probably should risk a fire this close. You don't want to attract any attention."
It will be.
I agree. Don't want any more gauntlet ambushes.
So,
I'll take the second.
bundle up, and who's bunking with me?
I look over at Kiro.
Sure, why not?
I'll nudge Nisha.
What?
He didn't bring his own back. He didn't bring his own.
He brought his own
Supplies?
stuff. He wants somebody to be next to.
Tammin?
Misha, this is total weirdo. This is totally your type.
Let's just
Cameron, you have
bunk up.
No idea
Bunk
what
up.
it is.
We can sleep back to back. That's fine.
Yeah, it's fine. I don't give a fuck. Long rest. Let's go.
Yep. So you guys take a long rest, and so far as you can tell through the night, nothing happens through your guys' watches.
Awesome. I'm glad to hear that.
And you guys head back to Nire at first light, and you arrive to the town. You see the burned out granary. Other than that, people are pretty much going about their day-to-day business, but they look very concerned.
Mm-hmm.
You
Are we
guys
heading back to the manor or keep or whatever it is? I don't know if it's.
I'll stop
big enough to
somebody
have a keep or whatever.
who is walking looking very concerned.
Okay.
Yes, miss.
Everyone is very dour. Is it just because of the grain?
Oh yeah. I mean that's gonna put a pretty big dent in our supplies for the winter. I mean, Nire's gonna have to hook up something, and with supplies being the way they are and the war, I don't know how much we're gonna get.
Do you have no other means
Would
of
you
supply
have to
in this
abandon
town?
the town?
Sorry, go ahead.
Oh no, that's actually almost what I was asking. I was wondering if they have to abandon the town.
Yeah, I was getting to that.
Well, we've had a couple bad years, and women without food, and if we don't get anything delivered to us, I don't know. I mean, winter's almost on us here, and I got mouths to feed at home, and I don't have much in my larder. We're in trouble here.
Does the sale of the grain not help?
Say again?
That's what I thought.
Well, the sale of the grain must help, but they have no grain left with which to sell. And their granary is
especially if they don't realize that their grain's being sold.
Well, it's all gone now.
Did you say that out loud? Because if you do, I'll nudge you really hard and be like, don't say
No,
that.
Misha doesn't have much of a filter.
That's
so
fine.
yeah,
That's
no,
fine.
she's
I just want to make sure that that wasn't just you saying that.
No,
But
this is
yeah,
her being
I'll nudge you
socially
really hard.
inept.
Oh, I.
She just look at you like she's confused.
Well, we appreciate the information. I wish the best for you and your family. And I'll actually hand him 10 gold pieces.
But before
Thanks, mister.
we
That-
leave,
That'll help, I guess. Maybe.
we've heard stories of missing people. In
Yeah,
town.
take it back if you want.
No, that's okay. You're saying, miss, missing people?
Yes, by the pond, the first person to go missing was
Oh, yeah. I think his name is Jeremy. Jeremy the Fisher.
and then there
Or
was a
Jeremy
man in the
Fisher.
woods.
There's been some debate about whether it was his last name or
Sure, it wasn't Jeffrey Epstein.
Oh God.
no. It was definitely Jeremy. And you said what were you asking me? I mean, he disappeared. Most people think he just drowned, but you know,
And there was
the pond's
woods-
not that big, so it would be pretty difficult for him to not show up. So I don't know where he went, but he's gone. So
But then you also lost a woodsman and a blacksmith and his daughter.
yeah, that's all right. Yeah, I think his blacksmith was Johnny, and yeah, his daughter, Marilyn, I think something like that. They went missing around pretty close to the same time. The daughter was a bit older, I
How-
think.
How long ago did they go missing?
Well, I mean, that was probably 3 months ago, something like that. And then Jeremy, he was gone like 6 months ago or something in that ballpark.
And the woodsman was sometime in between that.
Well, we don't really know exactly when the woodsman missed because, you know, he
'Cause
lived
he's a
out in the
woodsman.
woods.
Woods in the
So,
woods.
yeah, and I mean, honestly, he could have just gotten eaten by a wolf or a giant spider or something. Went too far south. So, I don't know. It's definitely possible that
Is there
connected, but we don't really know.
When was the
Is
last
there
time you saw him?
Oh, I think last time we saw him, we was at the Harvest Festival. It was maybe about a month and a half ago.
So,
most recent?
how long have we been back from this little venture off to the mall? Maybe 5-10 minutes.
Yeah.
Okay. I'm not sure if we're done talking to this guy or not, but I'm pretty sure that the noble woman is going to want to talk to us pretty quickly and expect an explanation as to why we didn't complete her task for her. So
Yeah, but we
We
don't
should-
have anything to give her anyway.
yeah, I
Yeah,
mean,
except for this sword.
Oh
yeah.
God! It took me a moment. I was like, "What are you talking about? I didn't get a sword."
I'm just saying things are gonna heat up pretty quick. I think when that happens.
Which is why I'm trying to investigate the disappearances now before that happens quickly. Because yeah, if we don't have anything to show for it, she legitimately believes that the ogres took her daughter, but I'm pretty sure that the dark elf probably knows more than he's letting on, since he
Maybe,
wants.
yeah,
this-
who knows? But I also,
Wait, what's
Remember-
this traveler guy who's with his name?
this Simeon, this
No.
guy,
No,
Berwick's.
Berwick's.
oh,
Berwick's.
Hey,
Sorry.
Berwick's.
Dark elf.
I thought I was
Yes.
thinking of different people.
Yeah.
So you seem like a good guy.
Thanks.
So I hate to do this, but
Oh.
you know, if don't go in there and start spouting about how we didn't even fucking walk in the cave, okay? Just keep your mouth shut, and it'll all go well. All right?
She's gonna ask me.
Yeah,
What
that's
do you want
great.
me
You
to
just
say?
say, yeah, she wasn't there. Because she's not there.
Make a persuasion check.
Oh need this to go well.
I would say I'm actually fine with him saying that.
Guidance. 21.
All right, I trust you. I'll keep my mouth shut. I'll toe the line, but let's try and keep it from bloodshed. I heard that sword business. She's just a woman.
Haldir is a joker. He would not just slaughter a grieving mother.
That's not a good thing to joke about. Well,
guys never
wonder
make good
what.
jokes. But let's go
All
talk
right.
to this lady.
Okay.
We're going to her first and not the woodcutter's house.
I mean,
Just
I don't
get
think
it
we're
over
gonna
with.
find anything. Do
We
you?
might. We might not. I'm not sure.
What do you do? What do you guys had?
Concede with the group. I would like to check out the woodcutter's house, but
On our way over there, so is this like a manor or is this a keep? I guess I don't really understand.
It's a manor.
It's like
It's just a nice
okay.
wooden home.
So I'm just
for the
making
most
sure
part,
this
so-
isn't like a big city. This is like a little town, right? That's
Yes,
essentially-
yes.
Okay. All right.
Yeah.
Cool.
So you march up to the door, and answering it is Simeon, and says, "How'd the hunting go?"
She's not there. We need to talk to the lady though.
He opens the door wider and ushers you in. And you come back to her greeting hall, and you see guard Marv is there, guard Pelvin is there, and a very bruised up guard Warren is there, but he appears to be wearing his gear again.
Is this like a great hall area?
It's not great.
Sure, it's like the main hall.
It's a hall. It's a meeting hall.
So
Yeah.
like a
foyer.
chandelier or something, like a pillar or something. I'm just asking for a specific reason. I want
You say if there's a chandelier,
some type of fixture. I want to throw.
there's
I want
probably
to throw Goose up on some place where he can survey the room.
Good old Hammond 47.
Yeah.
yeah. Sure. I mean, you definitely can perch him on something in the building.
Just that has a
can give
decent
you
vantage
point.
of the room. I'm not saying like I
Yeah.
can see everything, but
Yeah, sure. But you see that their guards are all looking concerned and worried, like they're scared that there's an attack gonna come or something of that nature, and they're on edge. And as you guys kind of enter in, and there's a large commotion of footsteps of all of you guys coming in, they kind of like half draw their weapons, and then they see Simeon's with you guys, and they stow them, and they kind of almost have a relieved look on their face, like, oh, they must have killed them all. They didn't lose. But Nire is there, and she kind of like is looking, like raising her head, trying to look through and over you guys to see if you have her daughter, and she looks extremely disappointed, and like her face gets flush and red already, and she's like, well, what happened?
Just to be clear, all these guards and everything are in earshot, right?
Yeah, they're in the room, scattered around. Yep.
Sorry, one more thing before you start. Are those figures that we noticed before still present in this area, or
Make a perception check.
okay?
I was just assuming they were the
20.
same people.
I figured too, but I'm just making extra sure.
But the figures from before were like Berwick.
There's not like more people like hiding.
Yeah.
You in your quick scan while you were kind of walking through the corridors to this greeting hall, you did see another figure who's stowed away in like a corridor in like a darkened part of the hallway. Again, kind of waiting there, but they didn't do anything.
Just noticed the one guy so far.
Yeah,
To
just
the
the
best
one.
of my ability to know. Okay,
Mhm.
all right, that's fine.
But yeah, she says, Well, what happened?
Well, they don't have your daughter. She's not there.
How do you know that? Did you go in there and look? Did you kill them?
No, he didn't kill him because they didn't have your daughter, and there's
So
no
you
proof that they
asked
did
them.
anything wrong.
Great.
And then had a little chat.
It's a good thing you brought back the horses.
And let's just get this out of the way here. So, you seem awful concerned, and you think they have your daughter. Any right parent, in my mind, would give us all the details, even if they weren't that pretty. Like, that, maybe you lied to us, like a lot, and you got a fucking shitload of gems from these ogres. Yeah? That sound about right? And then they came here to get what they were owed, and that's why this whole mess began in the first place.
I didn't lie
And
to you.
you wasted our
about
fucking
anything.
time sending
I
us to
asked
the
you
ogres.
specifically to search for my daughter, which I suspected they had taken her. I still suspect that, and I suspect that you've been taken for a fool by half ogres.
No, listen. You're not telling us something. Because none of this makes any goddamn sense.
Yeah. See,
Because
I already think
if-
you're a
Carol
shitty parent
wouldn't say
in
that.
person.
No.
But
Just if your daughter was in a cave with ogres, you'd be able to scry on her. You'd be able to take anything. Anyone with any kind of magical ability would be able to locate her. But you can't, even though there are a bunch of fucking dudes with bows and arrows in a cave. That doesn't make any sense. So if you're lying to us.
Gestures over at Simeon. He said that he could not find her. Simeon?
Oh, that's all fine and dandy. That
Well,
means there's
Simeon
something
raises
more.
his hands and he says, I looked, and I looked today as well, and I could not find her. Simple as
And-
that.
also,
no, I believe him, but that means it's something that could, magically hide a person did this. Not a
The
bunch
ogres
of idiots
have
in a cave.
shamans. They have wizards capable of magic. I'm certain of it. What? You're basically telling me that because we failed to locate her through magical means, that my best lead on knowing where she would be is completely false and faulty. And I understand that you're upset because I kept my personal business out of this when I asked
well, it's
you
not
to
your
do
personal
something.
business, actually.
Oh, well, it
Dude,
is actually
no.
my personal business. This is my land. This is my people. This is my goods.
Well,
I can do
see,
with
when
them
you
as I
plead
wish.
to us about how they're going to kill your town and all these things, I didn't really, when meanwhile, what actually is going to kill your town is the fact that you made a deal you couldn't uphold, and then they came to make good on it, and then shit went down that caused your town to be fucked. So in actuality, you are the one who put the town in jeopardy. So
I don't recall speaking to you about jeopardy in my town. I recalled asking you to find my daughter and bring her back.
Let me quote it for you.
Why are we still here?
You said, I quote, "They may not have killed anyone yet, but they will be back to kill us all in the future." Do you not remember that?
No, that was incorrect.
That is what she said.
No. I said that they didn't kill anybody the night before, but they have killed people by burning down the granary.
Yeah, but they didn't burn down the granary.
Yes, I know that now. Warren.
And also, the only reason they were here is because you fucked them.
I understand the situation that I'm in plenty well. I'm still missing my daughter.
Okay, well, I'm just saying that maybe you should be a little bit more forthright so we can get some actual information. Because your daughter's missing, and she's missing in the same manner as all these other 4 fucking people who are missing from your town. Maybe it's 5, I don't even know. And apparently nobody really looked into them that deeply. Now that your daughter's missing, it's a big problem. I get it. She's your own daughter, whatever. But there's nothing to lead us to believe or anyone to believe that these two things are connected, especially given that the ogres would have had to march up to your house that you were in, apparently, and take your daughter without you so much as noticing a bit.
Or
Doesn't make
leaving
any
any
sense.
sign of them walking into her room. Or forcefully taking her.
Apparently, they're very skilled rogues. If you have another viable alternative,
The very
what
skilled
happened to my
rogue
daughter,
half
then
ogres, yes.
where is she?
Oh, I have a viable
Well, I don't rightly know
I don't
where your
even
daughter is,
care.
but I kind of think that guy's a bad motherfucker.
Which is that guy?
I pointed the dark elf guy.
He kind of shrugs, and Mira just doesn't make any response facially to that remark.
No, don't like my suggestion? All right, well, fine.
If you're implying that I took Nira's daughter, you're wrong. It's possible that she's dead. He smiles. You're not from around here, I can tell.
Well, hey, if I'm wrong and there's nothing to worry about, why don't we just all get in the zone of truth and have a nice little chat?
Sure, I cast Zone of Truth.
Oh my god, it was bound to happen.
Okay, so you cast Zone of Truth. How large a radius does it?
Come on, I have it on my character sheet somewhere.
I'll step in it too.
15-foot radius
We'll get
sphere.
really close.
Set it on a point of your choice within range. I'm gonna try
30-foot
that.
diameter.
Yes,
That's pretty big.
pretty big.
It is pretty
You
big.
can get both the advisor and her in this. The
Big ass zone.
this- they both fail their saves. So you have the Zone of Truth on them. And then they're held.
No, it just has a duration. And they don't have to answer the question.
They also could do that.
Sure, but
And they do get to make a save on their first time on a turn.
yeah, but you know if it's not active, right?
Yes.
Yeah.
Correct. Yes, and also
As
that you said
We told them.
let's put them in a zone of truth.
Yes, of course.
Yeah.
Well,
They're both sitting there awaiting. So this is all out of time. So you said let's put them in a zone of truth. Boom, you put it on them. They fail their saves. What do you say next?
All right, Mr. Dark Elf. Do you know anything you're not telling us about the disappearance of these people?
No.
This is good. This is good.
Yes, quite good. He's got a huge smile on his face while this is happening.
Why are you smiling at these trying times?
I find it very funny. You're getting very worked up about this. I like it.
Well, we were just sent on a
I
mission
like your
to
efforts.
commit genocide on a group of innocent people. I mean, come on.
Not
We're
very
getting
just.
worked up over it because we were played. We don't appreciate being pawns. We're on
sorry.
a mission to get to Jelren, and we are sidetracking us with this nonsense.
Well, it's not nonsense. There's missing people here. There's something here, and I think it's.
But we were just
Were you
sent
in
on a
your
wild
home last
goose
night?
chase.
Last night? Yes, I was.
No, not you.
Who?
Uh,
Mira? Yes, I was, of course.
The whole time.
Yes.
And you heard nothing.
I heard nothing.
And you have no reason to suspect anything but ogres.
She looks aghast and she's like, I cannot think of another logical explanation. No.
No,
All right, what
not
about
the
an
goblin
illogical one?
What?
I
It's a
suppose
big
a god stole my child. It's definitely possible. I don't know. That's a terrible question.
I think it's a good question. Because we have to resort to these means because you've already lied to us like 4 times. So, you know. It's not really my fault.
Okay.
Well,
We'll
this has
say
been
a couple
embarrassing.
rounds passes, and so they get to make their saves. What's your save?
I think it's 4.
What's your wisdom?
Yeah, I was gonna say it's not 4.
Or
It's
Proficiency plus your wisdom, or your
Yeah.
charisma modifier, probably.
my charisma's +2, but I think I have no, that's saving throws. Never mind.
If you go to spells, your spell save DC should be at the top.
it's probably 13.
It's probably 13.
Proficiency bonus 3. Yes.
So 13. They both fail again. It's really weird how I rolled it. I rolled a 2 and a 2, and then I rolled a 1 and 1.
Wow.
Uh,
Your scrying showed you nothing
it
when you
showed
looked for the
me
girl.
nothing. It was met with dead air. An empty void.
Does anybody besides Ucard or Tammin, sorry, know about this dude in the wings or whatever?
No, he didn't
never
tell
mentioned
anybody.
it. Yeah, they never mentioned it.
I mean, you can.
Yeah,
It's
No, I was just curious. If you didn't, that's fine. I was just curious.
no, it's not something that we know about.
Is there any other questions for this Inquisition?
Yeah, do you have any intent to deceive us in any matter ever going forward?
Who are you directing this question to?
Both of you.
Simeon shrugs. Is like,
See, I vote death by sword for that guy.
How about Axe? Does Axe
I,
work?
I don't think we need to go that. What do we need to do?
Is it possible that somebody knew you were selling the town's grain and took your daughter?
it would be possible if someone spoke about it. Simeon? Any of the guards? I don't think so.
More
Considering
specifically,
half
do
them
you
are
have
drunk.
do you have any dissidents in town that you know of?
Things have not been going well, but for the most part, people trust me to see them through it, and I will to the best of my ability.
How'd this character, Simeon, how'd you end up here? Why are you here?
Jesus.
I was sent by the new queen of Jepper to oversee Nire and to make sure that its inhabitants are taken care of.
Would you say that's going well?
I would say it's going rather poorly at the moment, but I have other duties and tasks that I have to attend to. And keeping my
such
eyes
as?
and ears open, well, that's the queen's business.
Have you told anybody about the grain that's being sold?
I'm not too concerned about it.
That's not
Well,
what
if
I
you're
asked.
an advisor to, what do you think about what happened? How she took the gems, didn't give him the shit, and then basically may as well have declared war against this tribe. I mean, as an advisor, I would probably say that's not a good idea myself. But you're the advisor.
I thought it was a very poor move myself. Yes, but Nire has a bit of a temper, and she's a bit hot-headed in the sense that she has terrible blood flow to her brain. So I guess that makes her cold-headed. In any case, she's not very smart.
What's this lady's face look like, right?
She's just
You
looking
called
at
her a smooth brain.
she's looking at him, throwing daggers at him. But other than that, she's not saying anything. You get the sense that the relationship and the power dynamic is a little bit different than they've let on.
Right.
He's
Yeah.
the one calling the
Can I make an
shots.
insight check?
Sure. On who?
This Simeon. Basically, I think that for some reason this zone of truth isn't working.
It is.
Yeah, I
It
mean-
definitely is.
Smiling.
Except that I'm wrong.
Yeah, I think he is exactly what he thinks he is. What we think he is.
Well, I mean, I already.
so-
Or what he seems to be.
At this point,
Guys,
they have saved both of
We
them.
know he's
have.
the Cambion, right? But our characters don't. Our characters don't.
No, I
Not the king.
I
so-
don't think he's a champion.
So you,
He's the necromancer. We all
what
know
are you
that.
Oh
trying
my
to
God.
insight off this guy, Haldir?
Well, okay, like from the way he's talking, me as a person, I think he's like has like the shit-eating grin and stuff because he's like, oh, you think this would work? And
Yeah,
he's just
exactly.
saying whatever he wants.
I think so too.
And I'm seeing if my character also thinks that. Yeah.
He's not a bad guy. End
So-
of discussion.
You get the sense that he is intrigued by this whole situation because he's kind of removed from it. He doesn't really care what happens to Nire's daughter. Doesn't really care what happens to the town. He's very aloof. He was very entertained by the fact that he was put into a zone of truth, and he is way above this Inquisition. So he's just kind of, but he's there. Like
It's
he
probably
doesn't have,
really
he doesn't have anything else to
entertaining.
do. So he's just kind of like playing along with you. I mean, that's the kind of sense that you get from, is that he's just like, this is really stupid. Look at how stupid these humans are, and half elf is. So yeah,
I think
he's
he-
very superior to you. Was the way that he is thinking.
But not that the zone of truth was ineffective or that he was.
No, the zone of truth works.
Magically above.
Worked for the rounds that it worked on him, but it's no longer active on him.
Oh,
I think we need to do a little more investigating and
I agree. It is possible people learned of what she was doing with the gems and decided to take her daughter.
No, this is some supernatural shit. This is definitely some supernatural shit.
it's a hag.
You can't just
Totally think it's Ag.
So
hag.
It's a
actually, the
cannibal
way
hag.
zone of truth works is if they fail it, then they are just affected by it forever. They don't make saves at the end. The way it is, until the spell ends, a creature that enters the spell's area for the first time on a turn or starts its turn there must make a charisma save.
Well, yeah. I mean, to me, it didn't really matter if they failed or succeeded because, like,
They fail with just wait.
if they failed, it was more like if you're not willing to get in here and answer the questions, then we have no reason to be talking to you anyway. You know what I'm saying?
All I mean to say is that they are still under the effects.
Regardless, I think we're kind of we're not getting any more answers here, and we kind of found out nothing.
It does appear
Well,
that way.
Other than that, he's actually in charge.
He's just some.
You don't know that. You get the sense that
He's probably
He,
just
he answers to a higher power than
yeah, but it's
her
a
and
higher
she would
feudal
answer.
power.
Jesus
It's not
Christ.
like
to that one.
he's like attached to a higher piece of like the feudal system.
Yeah.
Yeah, there's nothing we can do here.
I mean, short of like inquisitioning the house staff, but I don't think we're gonna
Oh,
get
let's
much
put
from
them in
that.
a zone of truth.
It won't matter. We have no power here unless we can convince the Nire to help us, which she's clearly. You know what I mean.
And there's no, there's something demonic or definitely like at least magical or mind influencing that's going on here. Like actually, while Simeon's still in the zone of truth, I want to ask him what he thinks actually happened because I'm a little.
So how do you phrase it to him?
What exactly do you think happened here? Because I'm kind of stumped, and you seem like a knowledgeable man.
Look at the compliment.
I love the contrast.
Yeah.
I'm not exactly here to probably.
Well, I think we have most of the story as it is. Nire crossed the Bershan tribe, and they came back and took what they paid for, and then something happened, an accident by our good man Warren here, shooting the hand with a torch in it, caused the granary to catch fire. If you're referring specifically to what happened to Nire's daughter,
and the blacksmith and his daughter, and the woodsman and the other guy.
people disappear all the time. It's not that uncommon. But this particular situation is distressing. It's something that I have put myself on guard for. It's something that I myself would be concerned about. If I had to guess, I would say it's an entity that is taking these people. Possibly a hag or something of that nature.
You knew.
Okay.
Misha does not say that. That is out of character.
We need to go with the innkeeper.
Sidebar, what the hell's a hag?
That fucking...
A hag is a fey creature.
That smoker lady.
They do many number of terrible things, but one of the things they do is they try to convince people to come help them. Voices or calls, or they're capable of magic in that regard as well. So they could have convinced Nire to leave her room. They could have convinced a number of these people to do anything, but as to who might be a hag or where might a hag exist in town, your guess is as good as mine.
All right, I think we might have to start an inquisition on this town.
A hag could stop you from being able to scry somebody.
No, not
if
that
she
I
killed
know
them.
of. But if they're dead, then yes, that would make it an impossibility, yeah.
And any idea how you might make a hag show themselves? Other than the pointy end of a sword.
Just gotta get out some haggy snacks.
No,
Haggy snacks.
my extent of knowledge on hags ends.
All right. Well, it sounds like we got just about nothing to go on.
No, we have quite a
this
bit.
is good.
Possibly a hag in town.
Nire looks distraught, and she's kind of like, I mean, if she weren't surrounded by a bunch of dignitaries and people, she would probably be crying. But she's holding herself together, I guess, for the most part right now. But she's not paying attention to you guys at this moment, really.
Zone of Truth still up?
Yeah, last 10 minutes.
Go up to Nire and not touching her, be like, we are still going to try to find your daughter.
She looks up to you, hopeful, and she starts to cry.
Wow.
Usual.
Oh God, here we go.
Try to pat her shoulder.
I'm gonna start
She
walking
feels
out.
Pat
really bad.
her. Oh no.
Okay.
I asked this Samin guy if he's ever heard of, if he knows anybody named
Samin.
Nash.
So who you're asking Simeon if he knows Nash?
Yeah.
Yes,
He's a prolific
I know.
bard.
I know of the bard now. Of course. Yeah.
The bard, huh?
Wait, he's a prolific bard.
Well,
he's,
yeah, he's
running a lot of
very-
circles. Yeah.
Sure.
How much you know about him?
But what else does he know about Nash? Because we know a little bit more than that about Nash.
I only ask because I've only ever seen two dark elves in my life, you and him, but he's not really a dark elf.
I imagine you're going to be running into a lot of Jelrin. A new alliance has been formed. I don't know if you've heard the news. It speaks all the more that you're far outside the circles. I'm curious where you're from, but that is an aside. There are more dark elves in Jelrin than you may be familiar with. And yes, I know Nash, and I know more about him than most, I'd say.
Like,
But
All right.
not
So
intimate.
not intimate?
Did you know that at one point he was
I was
working with a
gonna
mind flayer?
That doesn't surprise me.
But you
Yeah.
didn't know that.
Circles.
All
No.
right. Never mind then.
I would suggest that if you could, you'd apprehend him and
I
do away with him if you can.
don't think so. He's quite untouchable.
So you're saying that him and his ilk have sort of infiltrated the government?
Infiltrated the government is an interesting way to put it. I would say that they are like princes in a very literal sense.
I see.
Well, yeah, we already know that.
Shrugs. What do you want me to say to that?
Sure.
Okay.
I mean, they're like the princes of that god, right? Isn't that what they told us?
They are the sons of Menethok, who is a demon, is a elder demon that you, Misha, have
Yeah.
read about, and he's like the calamities of calamities. He's the guy who supposedly is credited with causing the calamities. He
Oh, yeah, that's right. We
destroyed, killed a ton of
this
people in the
before.
Hollow Peaks, and yeah.
I'm
He's
pretty sure
a
she.
very bad man. He's the chiefest evil in
I
the
want to say that
land.
was like literally her like quote was like he's a very bad
Yeah,
bad
it's
guy. Yeah. I'm pretty sure that's what her
Tattoo
what you might
says
call it, vision thingy quest was.
Yeah, her peyote trip.
her vision.
Basically.
Great movie.
So does it kind of work for like an inquisitor kind of guy? Do I know anything about him?
You can make an Arcana check.
Well, I'm not good at that, but all right.
You know they exist. You know that there's a couple different
I hope you have
types.
the -1.
You remember reading about them, and what like kind of some of the stuff they do, but you don't remember any particular passages. They're pretty evil. You remember they did like weird stuff with kids, is because this probably stands out. Is that they eat infants, and then they birth an infant that looks like the infant that they ate. And then they either
Box
raise
child.
it themselves or they give it back to the parents. And then after a while, it becomes a hag.
So awesome.
That you remember that because that was pretty wild.
Maybe that's what happened. Maybe the daughter
Let's
became
not
a
say
hag.
that out loud.
Maybe all those people are hags.
I'm not going to share
They're
that
raising
information with
hags.
Haldy.
I mean, well, I guess I can't comment because I don't know enough.
Well, what are we gonna do?
Well, I guess we can investigate the town some more. Or we can investigate the town next week.
Sure. That's certainly something that you can do. So, what are you guys going to do immediately right now? It's getting to be probably towards dinner time, I guess. So it's probably like 4 or 5. And realistically, at this point, yeah, because you guys left from the mall.
Probably like we were like
Yeah, but we
like
went to
slept
sleep
on the
at
way
like
back.
17 miles, I thought.
Yeah, that took you about half a day. Then you talked to that guy, you talked to the other guy, and
Then we slept on the way back, so we should be getting back like around noon.
This Inquisition
yeah,
took
I
18
suppose.
hours.
Yeah, I mean, it definitely took the better part of an hour at the very least. So it's probably 1 o'clock. So you got a couple hours before dusk.
All right, let's. Okay, so let's talk to the townspeople, figure out where the blacksmith lived, and investigate his. I don't know,
Sure.
his fucking house. I don't know how to
Okay.
approach this.
Well, for expediency's sake, you can make some investigation checks if you guys want to split up to each investigate one of these areas.
I'd like to investigate the blacksmith place.
Okay. What about you, Misha?
What are the other options that we have?
There's the woodsman's house. There's like a farmer or a fisher's shack, and then those are the 3 places.
I'll go to the woodsman.
Okay. Is Misha still alive?
Yeah.
Well,
I was
Sorry,
trying
filling
to.
a drink.
Yeah.
So the woodsman went missing like a month ago. And the one who's been missing the longest was the guy at the pond.
Correct.
So I'd like to go to the woodsman shack, but I'm afraid that if we send one person to the pond, especially when we're talking about a hag, they're gonna die. So we
Okay,
should
you can
probably
go.
send. I'll go to the. That's
Well,
what
actually-
I think we're dividing that we're gonna have to though, because there's
I'm
I go to the
You can send-
blacksmith's house
you can
by
send
myself.
3
2 and 3.
locations.
Yeah. And the
yeah,
blacksmith's house is in the middle of the town too.
I
I
think
can
we
go.
can just talk to all the people in town, just ask them what they know, and while we're doing that, we can cast detect evil.
Well, I mean, well,
Every
you can't.
person.
You can do
can't.
it. Clerics can do it.
I think I have detect evil.
Oh, the clerics got all the spells.
I get something else that lets me see undead stuff.
Oh, okay.
Yeah,
don't
she's
think I
got
can
Eyes of the
detect-
Grave.
Yeah.
Okay.
I'm fine with either pond or woodshack.
Sure. So how you just decide how you guys want to split it up.
Okay.
Haldier's going to the blacksmith
It's like
in the middle of the town.
Machine split up shit.
I'll go with Misha.
Misha is going to the where?
I'll go to the woods.
Woods.
Okay,
Yeah, the
and then
woodsman's
Kirill
house.
and Tammin are going to go to.
Yeah, I'll go with Kirill.
So the two pairs, you got one of you guys can make a roll with advantage, and then Haldir, you can make a roll. You guys can all make
Is it what
investigations.
kind of roll? Just sorry.
Investigation.
Yay.
Investigation.
What do you?
Investigation.
I have a -1.
Okay, it was 0, but
Okay.
Okay.
You go.
but I can guidance myself.
Okay, guidance.
Cameron, you want to do it? I have a -1.
Yeah, I'll do it. 19.
Nice. It's a good investigation.
I have a +4.
Okay. So,
Where am I investigating?
The
you're
pond.
you're investigating the pond.
Oh yeah,
You're
where the
currently
guy
in
said
the
that-
pond.
Yeah, I got you. Maybe I am with a 19.
Okay, so Haldir, you go to the blacksmith, and the blacksmith's house has been taken over by another family, and you ask some questions, kind of try to discern if there was like any signs or sounds, buds around the disappearance,
and the family doesn't really know. Some of the people around, like the neighbors, they don't really recall anything that was out of the norm or distressing.
Who
in
went
any
missing
way.
first?
The fisherman by the pond.
No. The blacksmith and his daughter went missing. Which of the two?
The blacksmith went missing first, and then his daughter.
So I
Days
asked how
later?
old his daughter was. Like,
She was in her early 20s. She was
and she lived
apprentice.
there as
She was
well.
Yep, she was apprenticing under him. And then, so
Well,
yeah.
I asked him if, like, after he disappeared, if she was like depressed and like suicidal and shit.
How would?
Well, I mean,
What?
she was probably upset. I mean, she was.
I mean,
upset.
they're her neighbors. Like, I'm not the
yeah.
people who live there now, but like,
Right. You're asking the neighbors. I got that. Yeah. I mean, she was distraught. She didn't understand what had happened to her father. She petitioned people to look, and we did, but we never found anything.
was there anywhere that she wanted to look, but people were too scared to go out to there or something, where she may have gone herself or something like that?
Too far from town in any direction. People are mostly too scared to go. We thought that maybe he had realized he wasn't making enough money to keep up or something, and he just skipped town, which was still probably too cruel or too harsh and for his daughter. But we don't really know. Then when she went missing, we just assumed that she also just skipped town. Maybe they just had debts or something that they couldn't keep up on, or I don't know. That's as far as we know.
Do you know who found out that they were missing? Like, that the daughter was missing specifically?
I mean, we come to her pretty much on a daily basis to come and get supplies and nails and screws and whatever the heck we need, you know?
Okay. Well, were there like things missing, or did it appear they just disappeared without taking a thing?
To be honest, it did look like when the daughter left, I think we went through the house to, just search for her, and we saw that some of the drawers were tossed and maybe she'd taken some clothing. We didn't, we don't know exactly what they had in their house.
Sure.
But so far as we could tell, nobody had gone through and stolen stuff. There were still all of her tools for the most part, and yeah, everything that you'd imagine was still there. Nothing really stood out at the time.
All right. Thanks for your time. I
Yeah.
don't know what else to ask him. So
Sure. And so, Misha, you go out to the woodsman's house with Yane, and you guys spend the better part of an hour kind of combing through the house, checking out everything, making sure there's no, signs of a struggle or anything like that. But you're kind of, a few months late to the scene, and you don't see anything that's out of the norm. And it looks like when he had left, he left everything pretty much untouched. There's even like a bowl that was still on the table that looks like it maybe had some food in it. It's molded over and then probably turned to dirt or something. I don't know what the hell happens once the bowl gets through with it.
Got up and walked away.
Yeah. But yeah, there's nothing that really stands out in the house at all.
Anything outside the house? Like if his bowl is there, like he was going to still be eating or something.
Sure. You can make another investigation check.
Do I get guidance still on this one?
Yeah, you can guide yourself.
I'm gonna guide myself.
Guide yourself.
Guide yourself into the light.
Oh shit! I don't know why I do that all the time.
So,
That's hilarious.
you
always
look
a
around
problem.
You're not
the
very
area,
Not
guide.
very guidance.
and you can see that he had some areas around his house where he would tan skins, and where he would do his just like lean-tos and partial coverings so that he could work. And
you kind of like comb through this area. Nothing really stands off or strikes you, gives you anything that's like, oh man, there was a struggle here or anything like that. Just seems like a place at peace, but you're a month out. So this place has been kind of reclaimed by nature. Everything's kind of growing around his house and kind of getting sucked back into the woods. Slowly but surely.
I don't know if you wanted to check for anything.
He is helping you that whole time.
Oh,
So,
Yeah,
any other ideas?
not really. I think we've.
Because I'm sure he walked away willingly. I'm just not sure.
I mean, why? I mean,
Like an indication as to where. Well, because if it is a hag, it can mimic someone's voice.
But we
Okay.
don't know that.
no, we
Or
don't.
maybe we do, but I don't.
okay. And then, so Tammin and Hero, you guys head to the shack by the water,
Little
which
dock
is
there, whatever.
small little hovel. Yeah, it's a little dock. And you see, after kind of peering through this house or pouring through this house, you see that there's an older gentleman who lived here. He maybe didn't have a lot of visitors. He's just kind of to himself. See a lot of fish bones like everywhere. And like he was carving stuff out of fish bones too, like little charms and stuff. It's kind of creepy. And they are kind of like hanging from some of the ceiling, the little rafters and stuff like that. But again, there's nothing that notes a struggle or any type of concern that struck him. There's no like blood all over the place or anything like that. There's no claw marks at the doors or anything like that. It's clean. Just looks abandoned for the most part, and you can see that the dock itself that this shack kind of attaches itself to has probably been used recently because people just kind of come down here and fish every once in a while. People aren't like scared of it or anything. They kind of leave it alone, but you see some fishing lines set around and stuff like that. But yeah,
Nothing to see
nothing,
here.
nothing to see. Yeah. So you probably take a good hour to do that as well, and then I would imagine you guys probably meet back up at some point somewhere.
I would like to talk with the innkeeper again, maybe with Detect Evil on, because she's like a traditional hag, but not like a monster hag.
She's a
She's just
literal
a
hag. Yeah, I hear you.
Like, I don't know, getting hag vibes.
I was thinking the same, but wasn't
Well,
gonna.
she
But
had
like
three
this
children
is
around her.
literally turned into a witch hunt.
Yeah, she had
Attention.
children around her. Exactly. She could
Wait, this
easily
is
be a hag.
Tyrell's thing.
Tension called it like 3 hours ago, guys.
Yeah, I know.
But that it was a witch hunt.
So if it's
Whatever.
true,
Absolutely.
To our barbarian that knows more about
big
lore.
big if true.
Big
Either
if
way.
true.
Alright, I just want to stroll into the inn with Detect Evil on, just have a chat.
Okay. So you guys kind of all gather back up at the inn, coming together after each taking roughly an hour. Haldir probably finished a little bit quicker than the rest of you guys to just kind of discern what had happened at each of those locations. And you come together outside of the fish trap. What do you guys do?
I'm gonna go attack the girl.
Go
The
over.
hag.
All the nothings that I found.
Sure.
Let's go into the inn and have a little drink.
Okay. So you guys move into the inn, and there's a few people just kind of sitting at the tables discussing, and they all are looking haggard and worried. They're gossiping about.
Haggard.
I didn't say that. And you can see
We got a winner.
Mary run
Freudian
around.
slip.
and she sees you all again, and she's like, "Oh, yeah, you're back already, are you? Couldn't stay away from my cooking."
No, we couldn't. But also, we're I don't know if we're exactly welcome in like the manor anymore, so we kind of need to kick.
Yeah, I mean, you guys can stay here again. I think what did I charge you? 5 copper pieces for last night.
Yeah, it sounds about right.
That sounds good. All right.
Hey,
Well,
Mary.
another time, I guess, as well.
Mary, what do you think about all these disappearances? We've been here a while.
Oh, people come and go. It's just a way of life. I've seen hundreds of people. I mean, it's just the way it goes.
I want to cast like detect evil under the table. Just put that up.
Hundreds of people disappeared.
Make a sleight of hand check.
These aren't the.
So it's like super obvious that you're casting a spell. Like your eyes roll back a little bit.
Oh my god!
And she raises her hand and casts counterspell.
Holy shit!
Yeah, you guys are welcome.
What are you doing?
Oh shit!
What are you doing down there?
Not real.
They're just detecting evil because we think there's a hag around town. There's a lot of people.
A hag around town. That's crazy. They live in swamps and faraway places. Not here.
By the way, I didn't know you could cast spells.
Oh, I picked up a thing or two back in my day.
In
How
hag
it
school.
goes.
Well, now that you know what he's doing, you wouldn't mind him doing it again, though, right?
What is he doing? I didn't hear.
I kept casting detect evil.
Oh, yeah. I mean, old Billy over there, so I wouldn't do that. You're going to piss him off.
Yeah, I
Old
cast detect
Billy.
evil.
She goes invisible.
Oh my god!
I love you so much.
was
And
so
with
obvious.
that, we will pick up that.
Oh my god, you
Crazy
ain't called it.
invisible.
So fucking
Fucking
obvious.
Yane, dude, with the call out, bro.